Common sense to lick my wounds. Orange lampshade lighting up the room. Days are infinity when laying on you.
Yo, y'all know what time it is. Black flag on everything. Stay protected. Move real smooth. Know what I'm saying? Don't spare none. Let's go.
Hey, black flag all on my mic. I've been known to spend a lot like Bob Barker, the price is right. Being broke, my kryptonite. Being rich, my superpower. Smoking on these bitter niggas. In my hood, we call it sour. From the south side of FLA. Been through Dayton, Broward. Musty ass kush on me, smelling like a golden shower. Yeah, I like my weed louder. Bitches better, niggas realer. I don't play about my family, about my business, about my skrilla. Take these niggas to Escuela. Nigga, I speak Espanol. I don't deal with pussy niggas. Never hang with messy hoes. Hanging with them Cubans, boy, you thought he was from Mexico. One love to my Jamaican niggas, South I say to all my zoes. I don't even speak Creole, bitch, I only speak my mind. If my music made you deaf, then bitch, my jury made you blind. Did it all with one flow, niggas used to double time. Yeah, I used to smart talk, but now I had to dumb it down. Straight reconcile, bitch, I'm blowing up the spot. I'm a Carrot City nigga, man, y'all hoes must have forgot. I am not an emo rapper, and I ain't no fucking herd, nigga. I was whooping ass since the first, second, and third, nigga. Girls that be in love with me be the type to curve niggas. Yo hoes take a cockatoo, so that bitch a bird, nigga. Could be in the firm, nigga. Look at what I earn, nigga. I'ma keep it beat. Only thing missing is a perm, nigga. Hey, black flag all on my mic. I've been known to spend a lot like Bob Barker, the price is right. Being broke, my kryptonite. Being rich, my superpower. Smoking on
Hey. I had to find some on this playlist. You was trying to turn down a little bit off this playlist, brother.
Well, okay, so I had too many last time. So the stuff at the top is a little bit of a layover. So you got the end, which ended up being R&B because a lot of good R&B last week. So yeah, it'll be there. I know what you're thinking, but nah, it's as much upbeat rap as it is love and affection.
This is a lot love and affection. This is what up, y'all. I'm taking an Instagram post, so y'all bear with this. You know what it is. Dang, this upgraded to that much. All right. Y'all know what it is. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't got no pregame. We ain't even supposed to really be here. This is how much we love y'all. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Raw, special NBA everything edition. Draft, free agency, trades, deadline, Olympics,
chaos.
Or the Olympics is crazy. I mean, the NBA is crazy. I guess the Olympics too. It's kind of crazy. So, Norwood, how you feeling?
We got nothing to talk about on the Olympics. No, I'm nowhere near recover. My body is weary. Excellent fellowship in Tampa for the Clave from Thursday night until last night, nonstop.
Yeah, I saw you. Your boy Zach got out of there. Zach got out of there Sunday morning. Shout out to Curve. Zacademics, as I like to call him. OVO.
Yes, definitely OVO member till he dies. But man, yeah, it was great. You know, it was excellent to see my friends. Tampa really, I was concerned, but like their little downtown area of Ybor, they let us rock all day and all night. It was a real adventure. We had a ton of fun. Well done, Florida Bad
things about Tampa. I got a good friend, my college roommate for 4 years. Omari Shihai lives there with his family. Got his dental practice out there. We went to visit him, and man, don't they go? Is it Central Florida is down there? Is it Central Florida?
Yep. I get them mixed up. USF or UCF. I think it's USF. South Florida. It's the Bulls. Yes, that's the one in Tampa.
Okay, South Florida. Yeah, we were down there during a soccer game, and boy, you thought it would have been football. It was packed out there for the soccer game. So
you know that's the team that also said that they were like national champions because they went undefeated that year when they were coached by Scott Frost. But yeah, it's Tampa.
You
going
said South
there
Florida
for,
or Central Florida? Central Florida says that South Florida did not. South Florida has never had an undefeated season in football.
You're right. They just had one really good season where they thought they should have went to like the national championship. Both delusions of grandeur.
No, they never had a good South Florida. The Bulls, the white and green team.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Central Florida did.
The
gold is
because
black.
remember, that's also the school where the dude almost died on the field.
Wow. No, I don't remember somebody's untimely or almost.
Oh yeah. No, not that. It was. Oh yeah, it was 2017 when they went 10-2. Or the year before with Willie Taggart, they went 11-2. That was when they were screaming.
Before he went to Florida State.
Correct.
Yeah, and then they ran him out of Florida State after one season.
And then after Charlie Strong, they fell apart.
We ain't got no football. Let's talk about that. Willie Taggart got fired from Florida State after putting everything in place that they use now. All the swag stuff, all the grown stuff, all that, hip.
Oh, you mean all the black
stuff? I'm trying not to say it. I was trying to say everything but black, but all the black stuff, he put that in place. And then they fired him and they brought in Norvell, who is a good coach, but he didn't change nothing culture. He was X's and O's. He was not culture. And now they're somewhat flourishing. Wild, crazy. All right, man.
I mean, it's not the first time that's happened either.
And it won't be the last. Well, I don't know.
Not.
It might be because NIL is changing things, getting them old geezers out of there. Shout out Tuscaloosa.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and by out of there, they're gonna pay him $500,000 to be like still there
to do nothing to recruit. He is a mascot. I would be paid $500,000 to be a mascot.
You can't say the great. Reggie got his gun out. Georgia gonna be hell this year, boy. Georgia gonna be hell. They talking big shit already. Niggas say one of them like the guy. Lee Corso is crazy.
I mean, Lee Corso, come on, man. Don't make me say it. But for the last however many years, he's been pretty much just a mascot. I think the last 2 years, he don't even be on stage that much. They keep him like away. That's why they brought in old boy who don't like people or they don't like him.
I know you're talking about. I can see his face. Yeah,
the punter. The punter.
Yes.
That's all I remember him as is the punter. And the wrestler.
Pat McAfee, boy.
Pat McAfee, yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, y'all, this ain't no football thing. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. Episode 158. Ain't no pregame. Ain't no HBCU. We could talk about baseball. We'll talk about that next week. Ain't no nothing. This is all NBA chaos. All NBA chaos. I can't wait for
I can wait for everything, Reggie. I can wait for everything because our team is the Atlanta Hawks and we're battling for one of the stupidest teams in the world. Honestly, I hate my team. I hate everybody. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm a whooped ass right now. I had no interest in potting today, but I'm so fucking mad at the way that the Atlanta Hawks were. I'm gonna beat myself to shit for you guys. I hate my team. No pause, not applicable. I do not
as
care.
Kevin Hart would say, all homo.
Whoa.
That's what he was saying. It was funny. It was funny to me.
I could congrats to him on that or not. Nah, I ain't going that far either though.
But let's get into it, man. We have some basketball news before, so we're gonna talk about the basketball news, then we're gonna do the draft reaction. And there's really nothing to talk about the draft for real. Although I do want to say, I think
what do you don't wait, hold on.
We gotta talk about Bronny. We gotta talk about the Hawks. We gotta talk about Filipowski and his weird case. Why is she around? And then we gotta talk about who kind of won the draft.
I can tell you who didn't.
And then we'll talk about free agency, and of course I'm gonna clear out.
How do you lose the draft and have a head start?
Oh man.
How does the girl pick the Wizards instead of you? That should let you know your own station in life.
The Wizards. I mean, yeah, we'll get there. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So before we get started, I need y'all to do two things for me. I know I always say one thing, but I need y'all to go to two profiles for me. I need you to go to the Splashcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Like, follow, subscribe. Also, Dive Team Media Network, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads. I don't know what else. TikTok. I need y'all to go there, like, follow, subscribe.
Oh, what happened to Spill? Spill was a thing for like a second, right? Social media be coming and going so fast. It's like it don't even exist.
Oh yeah, Spill. And then I have been looking at the what is it? What's the singer that died? His son does the social media stuff. Isaac Hayes Jr. Yeah.
Oh yes,
He's got his out, and then there was one that a Hampton University alum actually started called Tips, where you act pause, as in like getting paid from waiting tables. Basically, you got directly.
Must be fast because it ain't your face. I got it.
You got directly paid versus having to go through a third party. So, there's a few things we're looking at that we're going to expand to, but for now. Splashcast and Dive Team Media. We just added another show. So we got the patio, which my special guest will be another person we added by the name of Eloy Emiker. I'm sure you guys follow him about his political stances. We'll talk about the debate. We'll talk about why is it important to vote and all of those other things going on in the national election that the media really covers, but covers it at a slant. We're just going to give you the information. Y'all take with it what you will. Right? So then we also have the Splashcast and we have the patio. So the LOA show, whose long form content will come soon. So with that being said, man, let's jump right into the NBA news. Boy, I hope I set this up. Oh, I did set it up. So first off, in the NBA, shout out to Swin Cash. Woo, age yourself. Yes, you need to age yourself. Because it will happen. If for those that remember when Swin Cash was in the WNBA, and if you're old enough to remember when she was the Naismith Hall of Famer and National Player of the Year in college, she is now ascended to Senior Vice President of Basketball Operations for the New Orleans Pelicans. She got that. I'm assuming she got that promotion, or it was announced right after the Hawks. The Hawks are partially involved of giving her this last little boost to move on up to promote it to executive for the New Orleans Pelicans by orchestrating the move to get DeJounte Murray that we'll get into later on. But before we get to that, we want to give our applause to Swin Cash. Shout out to her.
Congratulations on this new position. Congratulations on being a fantastic basketball everything. Mm-hmm. Let's be real here. Everything. Basketball legend is the word that I was reaching for. Also, congratulations for stealing our best player. I'm happy for you. We didn't deserve him.
We ain't steal him. We gave him away. We'll get to it.
If you rob a stupid person, is it really robbery?
Yes. No. Yes. 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 Because you're taking advantage. That's robbery.
Oh, so yes, correct. We got robbed.
We didn't rob them. They didn't. No. We'll get there. We'll get there.
I ain't gonna get there. I'm miserable.
I can see. Other news, man. Have you been watching the WNBA? Like, have you been watching? I know.
Yes, absolutely.
I know folks are tired of.
No, we are not. Some of us will never get tired of watching Asia play basketball.
Well, it's more so tired of
the stupids.
Yeah, the uninformed. That's what I'm trying to say.
I've already moved around those people. It's like everything new. You get a bunch of people who this isn't really their business, really isn't their thing, and only hear because it's all over the news. But like the true fans, I've already I saw it. And at first, you're right, it irritated me. Like all this extra stuff that these people clearly not a part of the culture. So at first I was mad, and then I said, "Well, I'm going to be mad with these people who are going to leave here soon." So let me get back to what I like to do, and really watch the W play fantastic basketball.
I agree. So with the WNBA, I have been. If you want to join our chat, you want to join the Splashcast versus the World, join. We have about 13, 14 members now in there. It's growing every day. We have great time. We talk about a lot of things sports wise in there. I'm empathetic towards Caitlin Clark, just because I feel like the world, or a lot of people, have a lot, like I said before, a lot of misinformed things to say, a lot of things to talk about that they don't really know what they're talking about. And she's been balling. I think she had almost a triple-double last night. But
heavy as the head.
Yeah. But that's
you
not
got
what
the money, you got the notoriety, you get the smoke. Speaking of smoke.
But there's another person who, and the reason I said I feel empathetic for Caitlin Clark is because partially I am, but partially I think that narrative is being built sneakily, and Angel Reese is out there doing work in Chicago. Her and Cardoza, I mean, I think they had 40 rebounds the last time they played or something like that.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like where I that's the reason I don't empathize with her. That's just a part of your situation. Because as much as she's getting credit for growing the W, Angel Reese is not getting enough credit for growing the W. Is she getting treated probably a little bit worse than Angel Reese? Probably so. But if you get the perks, then you get what comes with that. All is fair.
Yeah, I think what it is they're still, like we said, Bird vs. Magic before, but when Bird vs. Magic, there was no villain. Like it seems like they, and when I say they, it's the sports news world.
Proverbial they exist outside.
Have tried to make Angel Reese like more of a villain. Like she doesn't get she doesn't get as much sympathy when she's fouled hard, when she's thrown to the ground. She's been rookie initiated too now. And nobody seems to have as much sympathy as they do for Caitlin Clark. But also, there's also not as much visceral statements. Like Caitlin Clark has a lot more criticism too.
Like that's the reason I think it's tricky, because you're right. She got the villain story early, but I think that the majority of the WNBA players like
fuck with her.
They're way cooler with her. They're like, nah, like you can see how her and Asia are kind of there. I think that they're probably giving her a little bit more of the game than they're giving Caitlin Clark, who recently said, I wish veterans and people were talking to me. So yeah, if you're going to come in and people are going to basically crown you as the queen of the WNBA before you win, then yeah, you're right. These people are going to come in here and say, fuck you.
I also think one thing about the WNBA and the NBA is there is a culture, and it's a split. And the thing is, Angel Reese has gotten the love from her side of the culture. There's nobody that's like, Angel Reese ain't nothing from our side. When I say our side, black and brown people. Caitlin Clark, she didn't even make it off the court from the Final Four. And Diana Taurasi was like, she's gonna get beat up. We gonna do it. I was like, damn. So it's like she doesn't seem to have a lot of support within the league on her side either.
The media has Lonzo Balled her, where you spoken this person up. You come in and basically told them that she's better than y'all already. And these people, like you got a woman like Asia, who is one of the greatest WNBA players of all time. It's like, whoa. Now, if that's what y'all gonna say out here, then it's my job when I come in here to prove to you motherfuckers that I'm not playing. So that's what she's been doing. That's been the thing. And Caitlin Clark is kind of caught in the middle because she's not
just saying nothing. She's just sitting there.
Exactly. If you now, that's the other part is Angel has her own thing. She's found her outside thing very quickly. That's one of the benefits of going to LSU. The media, the exposure to different people. You know, Caitlin Clark being in Iowa and then not being
and transferring from Maryland too now. So she's you
Exactly,
right.
yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
And then socially, just not the same person that Angel is. Angel's going to these games. She's meeting with these people. Like I told you, she sat down with all the rookies. She's cool with Caleb and the Bears. So she's comfortable outside versus Caitlin, who don't really have that. Nobody really knows that part of her. And all you have is these media talking heads who are telling everybody that she's the greatest basketball player ever, which is going to piss them vets off. Rightfully so.
Bird magic. I mean, this is literally bird magic.
It's textbook. It's textbook.
But one thing that I have seen, like I said, so I watched Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever. I watched Indiana Fever versus who did they play yesterday that got above 5? Diana Taurasi and the Phoenix Mercury and Brittany Griner. Hey, Griner, might be time for you to sit down, big dog. But another thing that happened this past week, Asia Angels. I texted to y'all. I was like, Brittany Griner out here getting blocked by 6'2" people. Like that can't happen.
Hey,
6'8".
You looking like different after you come back from a Russian prison camp, though.
Yeah. But Asia and Angel both made history the night that they played. They were the first player in WNBA history to score 20 points in 20 consecutive regular season games was Asia Wilson, and then the youngest player in history to record 9 straight double-doubles was Angel Reese. Shout out to both of them.
And this is the part that kind of frustrates me is we've already talked about how little respect that Nike has given Asia being the elite WNBA athlete, and then you kind of see how the media, gave Caitlin Clark all the love, and from everything that I've seen, while Caitlin Clark's having a fantastic season, Angel Reese looks like the rookie of the year so far to me, and it's just interesting how these things cyclically happen. Yeah. Absolutely for me.
I don't know. I we'll talk about that later, but I
think it's highly likely that Asia ends up being the MVP or the Woman of the Year, and I think that Angel Reese ends up being Rookie of the Year. I think that's highly likely. That would be my betting odds on both.
So I do like Asia. The thing that I've noticed with Asia is y'all have to get y'all shit together. The rest of her team, like to have 20 consecutive 20-point games and y'all be in middle of the pack is kind of crazy. Because she's out there dominating. She's getting 4 this not even including the 10, 12 rebounds she's averaging, 4 steals, 3 blocks, whatever she's doing. She's literally doing everything. She is she's in the prime of being the next best. The WNBA normally has one really good player, 1 or 2 at a time. She's in the midst of being like head and shoulders above everybody else. Like even Breanna Stewart, who was MVP when she finished 4th, and everybody knew that she was just way better. She's head and shoulders above her now. She's kind of crazy.
She did it. She the one that broke it. After that, she was like, I'm going to fix y'all. And has continued to do that. But, yeah, you're right. The Aces have to figure it out. And on top of that, y'all damn near the whole Olympic team. So y'all got to figure it out either way because y'all need to play well together.
The Olympics ain't good. The WNBA ain't like the women's basketball Olympics ain't like men's basketball yet. You probably going to get there after this group of athletes. This is probably your 92, 96 dream team in terms of Asia Wilson. And then that'll grow it to the European and to the world. But right now, I mean, I think they've won like 90 something games in a row. The women's basketball team, I want to say something like that. They haven't lost in like
you're right about that.
Olympics or something like that. So yeah, they're gonna be crazy. But back to your Angel Reese thing. Angel Reese is really good. I like how she gets all her rebounds. And for all of y'all that keep trying to criticize Angel Reese about her rebounding her own missed shots, I dare y'all to go to Plyometrics one day and jump up and down, touching the rim or the bottom of the backboard 150 times in a row. I dare you to do that. Do you know how difficult it is to get your own rebound against people?
Or you could watch Clint Capella play basketball for the last 4 years.
Yep. Now I will say Angel Reese does have some stuff to work on, but every rookie has stuff to work on. Literally every rookie, including Angel Wilson at the time, had stuff to work on.
And how you mad that she's getting the rebound after she missed the shot? I'm
You
gonna tell
on
you one
defense.
thing the coaches would appreciate. I know one thing that all coaches would appreciate. If you do miss a shot, hey, go get the ball back. I'd appreciate that. That's great.
Yeah, so she will, and as her, and I'm gonna put it to y'all this way because it's a lot, and there's also one demographic that's hating too. But you know, of course, we expected that. What I will say is, if she's doing all of this with as little offensive game as y'all think as y'all say she has, imagine when she gets a full off season.
She don't get good.
Yeah, imagine if she gets a full off season. Y'all remember they were in the Final Four. They were in the final. Both of them, all these people was in the final. They had 2 weeks before they had to go to training camp. 2. Imagine she gets a full off season, has time to heal, work on her game, anything. This is all raw talent, and we already talked about LSU. She already said they really weren't teaching me nothing.
And on top of that, remember we just watched Wemby play terrible basketball for an entire season. Did in the process he score some points and block some shots? Yes. But if you're really a basketball person, you know he wasn't playing basketball efficiently and effectively. Like his head wasn't in the game where it should have been. But he's got to learn the game. She's doing the same thing, and she's being effective. And I mean, she dominating the boards however you cut it. If you miss a shot, it's a lot of people miss shots and don't get the board.
And she ain't missing 20 shots a game, so I don't know what y'all talking about. So if she get 20 boards, she ain't missed 20 shots to get the 20 boards. Y'all tripping.
And if you let her get the ball 20 times, why did no anybody else decide not to?
And I watched her play. I watched her come down from 21 points against Indiana. She can run the floor. She has crazy soft hands. She caught some of them outlet passes triple teamed. I'm like, man, you need to go play tight end. You 6'3", 6'4", go out there. She was catching the ball and finishing at the rim or getting fouled. If she ever gets a low post game or a mid-range shot or anything, y'all go really hate her then. Because I'm going to encourage, we going to send her a nice little letter. Be as loud and as boisterous as you are. As the better your game gets, the louder you should be. Shut everybody up. With that being said, though.
And none of y'all going to grab her anyway.
I don't know. She's a stallion now. She's big now. With the heels on, she walked past all the reporters was looking down.
No. I'm not talking about with the heel. I'm talking about on the floor since everybody tough.
Oh, no. I will say, I don't know if she's rookie of the year, though. Because, not to cape for Caitlin, I watched the games where she had 17, 13, and 9. And one thing the WNBA players got to figure out how to do is how to make a layup. Some of y'all are just absolutely. She had 8 assists. I count probably 3 to 5 assists every time I watch that she's missing because they just miss layups or don't catch the ball or whatever. So even with that, I think she's the fastest to 3-pointers made. She's leading the league. Now she does lead the team in turnovers. She leads one of the most turnover teams, but she's a rookie, just like Angel Reese. But when it comes to rookie of the year, I don't know. Now I could see Angel Reese winning it if they have a better record and make it to the playoffs, and Caitlin doesn't. But I don't know if that's gonna happen because Aaliyah Boston has started to play really, 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 really well. And if that happens, then y'all just going to be mad because they're gonna be unstoppable.
I don't know why everybody slept on her being excellent from the beginning, but that's the frustrating part. Is you have all these newcomers who immediately, they live in a microwave society and want everybody to be perfect on day one, and that's just not really how it goes unless your name is LeBron James.
And even they hated on him. His whole team hated on him when he first got in the league.
For like an hour.
Carlos Boozer said,
my bad.
yeah, he's going to be regular.
My bad. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the rest of the news so we can get to what we really want to talk about, man. So the Celtics, talk about capitalizing on the growth and striking the iron while it's hot. The Celtics just won a world championship. Their popularity amongst a lot of people in that region is at all-time sky high. and they kind of been starved for a basketball championship since 2008. The Boston Celtics majority ownership group, led by my man right here, Mr. Weiss Grusbeck, is planning to make the franchise available for sale. By making the franchise available for sale now, not only did I say all you want, there's this new media deal. With the new media deal, there's more revenue. So therefore, I can sell the team for more because in all actuality, if you look at the numbers of the NBA and how everything, profitability and all that skyrocketed because of these new deals, I get to now sell it for way more than I bought it. And you can still justifiably. This is, I think he bought it for $400 million is what he bought the franchise for. And the last value I saw, it was $5 billion. So, and I'm sure it might be $6 billion now. So like,
that's the part that's confusing me about this is you don't typically sell sports teams. You definitely don't sell NBA teams, and you don't sell probably the most iconic team of all time? Or second most?
Them and the Lakers.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah. You don't sell that. That's like somebody like, oh, I'm gonna sell the Yankees. Excuse me. Like those things just don't really happen, especially after you've acquired 2 really great players. You just like the roster being set up the way that it is, the TV deal coming right now. I guess he just want his money. He want his money and run.
Yeah,
he must know something.
You talking about as a general manager. My man is talking about as an owner and in terms of investing. This is probably the highest this will be for the next, I don't even know how long media deals are. But this will probably be one of the higher values that you'll have for the next media deal. So if this is going to be the highest that is valued, and you're older, and you bought it for $400 million, I don't even know the percentage profit that is to go from $400 million to $6 billion.
Oh, I get it now. They say Grusbeck, while quite wealthy in the grand scheme of things, doesn't have the net worth that matches some of the NBA's newest owners. This could make it difficult for him to keep up. Oh, he like, oh, this is it for me.
Yeah, I'm out, and I'm gonna get my money.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my money and run.
That's what I do.
I mean, Grusbeck's net worth estimated $400 million, less than LeBron.
That's what. Well, it ain't gonna be after he sell his team. He gonna be at 6.
No. Yeah, I see. Sometimes you just, I mean, and you have to ask yourself, like, at what point? I mean, do I really need to have this? My only thing is, if I don't, does he not have children or anything? I mean, I guess, do I want to have to? It's 50-50 for me. Like, this is NBA teams in the last 20 years are massively appreciating assets. They continue to grow and grow and grow and grow every year. But, I mean, I guess you got to ask yourself, do y'all want to manage this team? Or do y'all just want to be rich and just be rich? And my own personal greed, I might say I want the team. But there's also a very wise part of me that says I could just be independently wealthy and do whatever I wanted to for the next 7 generations.
If you had $1,000, and I say, or if you had $1, and you say, hey, you get to keep the team in this $1, or I'll give you $10, and you can just go take your $10 and run. Would you keep the team, or would you keep a candy bar and $1, or would you give up the candy bar and take the $10?
I'll probably keep the team, but I know that's
you'll keep the candy bar. You keep the candy bar and $1 versus $10.
Yeah, like to me, this is the best candy bar I've ever had. Like I'll never ever have a candy bar this good a day in my life. This will be a peak moment. So yeah, give me the candy bar. But I also understand the people who took the $10 and run. I get it. I see both sides.
Yeah. It's really $15.
But this
because $400 million going to $4 billion. I mean,
And it's going to be more than that. It's 100% going to be more than $4 billion.
It's going to be It's going to be $6 billion, which is.
I think
I can't even fathom $50 million right now. He talking about $6 billion.
I'm telling no, because and that means this is the other thing. You're gonna ask for something outrageous, and the people who are going to be talking to you about this outrageous ain't gonna be outrageous to them. So yeah, I might come in.
The model
I might come in something stupid
anymore.
like give me $10 billion, which if you're looking to buy the Celtics, still ain't a bad idea. I mean, at the way that, especially specifically basketball is growing, Cowboys value. Like the Celtics are in that and that.
I would tell. I'm not gonna lie. I'd sell. I mean, if I'm throwing random question, you think the Ime Udoka situation had anything to do with his selling of the team or swayed his thought process of being an owner, or was it all money based?
I think it's money because it takes you from this goes from being athlete rich to being like
the 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah, you're just in a different conversation because this one asset, it's kind of being essentially I know this sounds kind of nuts to say, but he's kind of cash poor. Like my asset is the most valuable thing that I have, and now you have to ask yourself, and I don't know because I've never been. What at $400 million can I? I guess you do so much more with $6 billion than $400 million. That it's like
buy a small island and chill out. It's not what you can do with $400 million versus $6 billion. It's what you can do with $400 million with $6 billion. You can do everything you can do at $400 million. And $400 million, you could probably do just about everything you could do with $6 billion. And $6 billion, you can do everything you do with $400 million. But with $6 billion, I can do everything with $400 million and still have $5.4 billion left.
I guess that's the other part. And if y'all have valued it at $5 million, I'm not taking a penny less than $7. For me, because this is the thing. I'm going to give it to you. Think about all those people who bought those basketball teams. You bought it at $400 million. It's at $5 billion now. Yep. When I sell this at $5 billion, it's like buying a new car, except for in the opposite way. As soon as I sell this thing, it's worth more now. Every day that this thing exists, it makes more money. And by the way, Kristaps Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Derek White, and Jrue Holiday are on the team currently. The team has excellent leadership through Brad Stevens, and you have one of the youngest coaches in NBA history. Everything about this is set up for this to be good for the next 15 years. And even if the returns are relatively regular of what they've been over the last 10 years, you get it. Yeah, everybody wins, but I want my $7 billion straight cash on me.
And we'll move on to Shaq. But the final thought we'll have on this is, there's also 2 other teams that they're trying to add. Aren't they trying to add 2 teams?
Yeah.
They're trying to add
true.
Vegas and Seattle or something like that.
Yeah,
$7 billion can get you right back. Can get you right back into an ownership group.
I guess you could. You could sell and buy again, huh? Just give me my money, and I'll be right over there in Vegas with $3 billion.
I don't even got to be majority. I just put $1 billion up. Y'all started this before.
$3 billion on that Vegas team.
Yeah,
I got $3 billion on the Vegas team and keep that $4 in my pocket. You right?
Yep. Hey man.
Yeah.
Other side.
We might have. Yeah.
Hey man. So Shaq, if y'all don't know about Hawk Tuah, then y'all don't know about Hawk Tuah. But Shaq found the Hawk Tuah girl, and called it Shaq Tuah. Let me tell y'all what people
freak man.
That's why I want to be rich. I want to be rich, y'all, because I want to be able to be told, hey, your job will not be here in 2025. And then I just go do whatever I want. I just do side quests for the rest of my life. That's why I want to be rich. I want to have the freedom of mind to say, hey, we're going to downsize. Cool. You know what? I'm going to go travel to Nashville and find a Hawk Tuah chick and put it on Instagram after posting a picture of BBL Drizzy. Like, Shaq really been on one for the last week or two.
You don't see Hawk Tuah with that Prada necklace either, though. Hawk Tuah done made a couple dollars, too, while you playing.
You think that came from
And
Shaq?
now, no, I think that came from that merchandise she was selling. I think the Shaq is probably trying to sell her a Papa John's.
I don't know if you sell the Spit Girl to food, but yeah, I could see that somewhere. She should capitalize.
And let's be real here, man. Shaq is freaky.
Go ahead. This will go.
He made it very clear on multiple occasions, including the picture with him and Drake here pretty recently. But yeah, Shaq is not above the filth. He made it very clear on multiple occasions.
Yeah, man.
Tell no lies.
Shaq Tua is hilarious. And Dwight Howard just had the most cringiest post ever.
No. See, that's the reason that you gotta stay off the internet, because it's fun when the people who you like comment. But I do not. If I no, and the Dwight, you got a weird ass case that you. Wait. Dwight, you got a weird ass case that was never cleared up either. Now, don't forget about that.
He cleared it up. He was there. He said, "What I do and where I lay my wood is my business." And when you give that type of answer, that means you were there. It's similar to, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna say it. It's similar to, I'm too big of a celebrity. I'm too big of a celebrity. There's no way I would do that. That always precedes you getting caught doing what you said you would never do. So,
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. The Orlando Magic.
Speaking of
that's a
Hawk
funny
Tuah.
name.
Speaking of Hawk Tuah, boy, yeah, speaking of Hawk Tuah, DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, and Quinn Cook will play together with the Taiwan Mustangs in the Asia tournament in July, which is interesting. They're having an Asian tournament right before the Olympics.
None of these guys will be, if they are thinking about Olympics, they will be buying tickets.
Do you think any of them make it back to the league? Outside of the off the court controversy, Dwight wasn't a bad backup center.
Dwight is one of the best 400 basketball players in the world today. I think that he should be playing on a team. Mm-hmm. But I mean, also, it's a lot of baggage that comes with Dwight. Quinn Cook, no. Boogie probably never be healthy enough, unfortunately. But Dwight, sure. And should probably play for the Lakers
Super
again.
black. You black and Southern. Say Dwight again.
Dwight.
Dwight around your
Or did I say Dwight.
That's how you sound. But yeah, man, I will
Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
45-47. But I am happy for DeMarcus Cousins, though. Because Boogie Cousins, we talk about it all the time. If he doesn't get hurt, New Orleans probably has 2 chips. Because they had Drew Holiday on that team, people forget. And they had Boogie Cousins. And they had Anthony Davis, who at the time, he didn't have to be big, strong Anthony Davis. He had to just go out there and play. And then you still had Rajon. You had Coach Rondo out there.
And he was the best. Like, Boogie Cousins is the best center that Anthony Davis could have ever had. He's tough. He can still shoot. He can handle the ball, and he could pass. So you could really space the floor in different ways than I don't quite know of anybody who's been able to do it with those 2 type of guys who are big enough to be like real bigs, but still skilled enough to do everything. Yeah. I don't know if there's ever been a 2 big combo that's that skilled all the way around. Like you typically have your statue and then you have your skill guy. So you have your Rudy Gobert, you have Karl Anthony Towns.
Spurs.
But still, David Robinson wasn't like, and his skill wasn't what Boogie's was.
He wasn't tough.
Boogie's
but I mean, Tim Duncan didn't need him to be tough though, because nobody was gonna mess with Tim Duncan.
No, but what I'm saying is like Boogie could really shoot. Like David Robinson not gonna shoot no threes.
I mean, they both have individual skill sets that's indicative of the time that they played. But in terms of complementing each other, I think David Robinson and Tim Duncan, that's probably one of the best big,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
ever.
I also think here in the future you'll have another iteration of Anthony Davis. I thought we were about to get it this year. I thought that the Spurs were gonna go get Sarr, and then it was gonna be Wembanyama and Sarr, and you're just gonna be like, what are we gonna do?
I was waiting on it. But shout out to them, man. I am happy for them. They're allowed to continue to keep playing, especially Boogie. Boogie was allowed to keep playing, and after all that he's been through, he's had, 4 season-ending surgeries? He had his knee, he had his groin that he ripped, he had his other knee, and then he had his Achilles. So when you have all of those things, and it's kind of like if Brandon Roy were to go over there and play and then win something. Like, that's somebody that you always kind of shoot for.
Yep. Or what was your boy who played with the Bucks, played with the Hawks, just came back from having a season?
Jabari Parker.
Yep, Jabari Parker. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see people kind of gain their confidence, because I don't think that everybody conceptualizes this is people's life work. They've invested every day, to being an athlete, and then it gets taken away from you. And then you got to kind of figure out who you are outside of that. And then a lot of these guys lose their confidence. Jabari Parker, you could tell he had been through a lot. And to come all the way back around is amazing. And you don't want to see people be down in the dumps forever like that.
Nope. But moving on, man, we're going to get to the draft now. Woo. The draft. The Hawks, as the most unluckiest franchise ever, get the number 1 pick when the draft does not matter at all. And here's the thing. I'm not really mad at us. We drafted
Zachary
Risacher. Zachary Risacher. Number 1 overall pick. He's a 6'9", 19-year-old kid. He's really like about 6'10", really. 6'10". He can shoot. He can defend a little bit. And he's super athletic, and he runs the court. I'm not overly upset about the pick. I really thought we were going to go and get Sarr out of France. I don't understand. I guess I'm more frustrated about, I don't understand what the Hawks are, what we're doing.
I hate this team. This team is, first of all, watching Reza Shea, a little underwhelming to me.
Yeah.
There is, like, I understand that everybody wants this 3-and-D, 6'10", 6'9" wing who can shoot and get to the bucket and play defense. But he looks like he's okay, but he doesn't look like he's going to be prolific. I don't think that he's going to necessarily. He doesn't look like he's going to be better than a guy like Mikal Bridges, in my opinion.
I don't think people thought Mikal Bridges was going to be Mikal Bridges, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Mikal Bridges is also just recently, like, they talked about, him going to the Knicks and all. We'll talk about later. But also, it's still understood that he's not one of the elite, the top 5 wings in the NBA. Like, this guy, it's frustrating because if you're going to have the number 1 pick and there's a guy who's 7'1" or 7 feet who can dribble and probably the fastest 7-footer you could get, at least get something that you can't get or replicate relatively. Like, everything says get Sarr. Then you get this guy who's not even going to be the best small forward on our roster, and the best small forward on our roster probably is best off the bench. That makes no sense.
Like I said, I don't know what we're doing. I feel like the biggest thing about NBA drafts, NFL drafts for me, is drafting someone that you could have gotten later. I don't. That's why I didn't really like the Michael Penix pick. Although it turns out later on with the Falcons that turned out to be a genius move because it just threw the draft in disarray. This did not throw the draft in disarray. You draft
the Wizards are
Shea, and it's like, so you had the Spurs who were going to trade up for Sarr, right? They wanted to trade up for Sarr or Klingon or whatever. And instead of making that trade, because you would have got him at 4. If the Spurs traded up, they would have given us the 4th pick, the 8th pick, and a couple players. I think what the Hawks wanted were the players didn't match. They wanted like everybody not named Wemby, and the Spurs for that draft pick, and the Spurs was like, you out your mind. So
I can still get this right.
So if you could have traded down to 4, you would have got Klingon, Risha Shea. Really, that's it. I don't think the dude that came from Kentucky, I think they were locked in on him from the beginning. So I think you would have gotten
Reed Shepherd just fits their team because they need a guy who can shoot and space the floor. They were only taking Reed Shepherd unless a guy like if Sarr falls, I could see them possibly taking Sarr and maybe trying to move Sengun because they did play well without him and see if you can get a haul back. Something crazy like that where you can say, hey, I'll trade you this very young player who looks to be very good for an older established veteran and see if they could go into like immediate win now mode. But other than that, I think you're right. They're going to stick with Reed Shepherd, who looks to be a shooter, an elite shooter, scorer. And that's what we need around there. You don't have to have the ball in your hand. You get your own buckets. I think that Cleveland would have been a better pick than Reza Shea. Mm-hmm. At least it would have helped us kind of move our team into a specific direction. At that point, either you trade a Kungwu who has a reasonable amount of trade value, or you trade Clint, and that's your, you still get some trade value back because so many teams are interested in a guy who just is an elite rebounder. But we somehow find a way to moonwalk ourselves into nothingness.
When stuff doesn't make sense to me, I have to calm myself down and not calling it, because I'll call it stupid. I'll call something stupid or a move. If I don't understand it, my go-to is like, this is dumb. But
the reason that it's dumb is everything that the Hawks are doing is try to stay under the luxury tax and they still want to compete. But what they're going to do is we're going to end up, Trey's going to leave here because we're not going to win enough games, and then we're just not going to have anything, and then we're going to be a poverty franchise.
Already a poverty franchise. So we got Risha Shea. Then, I don't know who this guy is. Nikolai Jurisic.
This is the pick I'm way more excited about.
Tell me why.
He's, to me, if you saw early in the draft, there was a guy named Nikola Topic. He has a very similar game to him. He's just great value version. He's big enough and strong enough to really push against the guards. I saw him. He will dunk on you. I saw him dunk on everybody who got close to him. And at the same time, he's an effective passer, and he's a ball handler. I'm excited about this pick. Now, the thing is, they make Euros last year. Yes, but this is value. This pick is a value pick. Risa Shea, the return on investment, we're not going to get it. So there were other good options instead of Risa Shea. This is a guy who I think they scouted properly and was like, and I think they knew somebody else was going to take him. So that's the reason they moved up. Now, I'm not happy we traded away Adrian Griffin for him because that's how we acquired this pick.
We traded AJ Griffin, then we got the 45th pick, and then we traded up to 43 to grab him. So
correct.
We'll get to the free agency part. With the draft, I kind of lied when I said I didn't know. At the time, I did not know their thought process. I didn't know the Hawks' thought process during the draft. We got 2 wings. We have all the wings on our team. We have from the 2 to the 4, everybody is the same player, 6'5" to 6'9". That is it. So we added a 6'9", 6'10" dude and a 6'7" guy. We added the same 2 players, so that told me that there's going to be some roster turnover. But I would have looked, if it were me, I would have looked at the center position, and at the time I assumed we were keeping either DeJounte Murray or Trey, so I would have looked at the 2. I think both of these players can play the 2 and the 3. I think both of them can play the 2 and the 3, and I think ain't no thing. We have to address everything else in free agency unless we just going to tank next year, which is not going to keep Trey. So we can't tank next year. So we got to figure out what we're doing. But I also know they wanted to get draft capital back too.
Which they did. They replayed it. But we don't. It's frustrating because I don't know why you want draft capital. And then you have a guy like AJ Griffin who comes in, and when y'all do play him, he's an elite shooter. And then you stop playing him, and then you trade him to the Rockets. People see we're letting teams that we were better than pass us. The Rockets are a better team than us. And now they got two. They got two real shooters now because AJ Griffin can shoot that shit, and Reed Shepherd can shoot that shit. And we're gonna look around and say, "Oh, well, we traded and got nothing." It's immensely frustrating how and you talk about us not addressing the center. The center the center position has been uncertain and has not made sense in a very long time. Like, not really coming to a conclusion on what to do with Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu and just acting like it's not a problem doesn't make any sense. Like, this is the same thing like where the Pittsburgh Steelers did with Ben Roethlisberger, where you know a problem is coming and then you just sit it over there to the corner and never address it until it blows up in your face. Y'all need to figure out what option, how we're going to do this. Are we going to move Okongwu because he's too small and then go with another young center and then get something for Okongwu? Or are we going to move on from Clint because he's older and then try to have, add a backup center with some size to help out Okongwu, in certain games? But we're not doing either one of them. We just acting like it doesn't exist. And it's frustrating to me. And everything that we do to me makes this team look like we have no clue what we're doing.
Yep. What other news we going to talk about in the draft? You have, of course, the news. Bronny drafted number 55, second round to the LA Lakers. He is now going to be the first father-son duo to play in a game, because I guarantee you they're going to be playing game something, 1 or 82. One of them two, they're going to be in the game sometime soon. No, Sneaky, we should not have gone for Hartenstein because we are trying to stay under the luxury tax, remember? And our owners and front office are cheap. So,
if we move both of the centers, then we could have done that. But
I don't think Hartenstein. We'll get there. I don't think he's worth getting rid of both centers to pay him $87 million. I don't think so. You think Hartenstein's better than both Okongwu and Capella put together?
No, definitely not better than both of them put together. But if I can get Hartenstein, and then I can also I can get Hartenstein. I can pay Hartenstein some money, right? But then the other one, I could trade Okongwu, who's still on the contract, and get something back. Or I could trade both of them, get something back for both of them, and just pay Hartenstein. Yeah, I would have probably done that.
We'll see.
I think that
but you also
Hartenstein is good value as far.
Yeah, but you gotta want to. Just because they're a free agent and you offer them $87 million or $90 million, don't mean they're gonna come here.
Yes, that's just what I was about to say. And what you can't, the Hawks for sure can't offer them the same thing that OKC did.
I don't think we've ever gotten a big name free agent. I think our biggest name free agent we got was Joe Johnson.
But what I'm saying is, I can see both rosters. If you telling me I'm trying to win, you can pay me $87 million to play for the Hawks, or I can pay $87 million and play with the Thunder. Well, I'm going to go over here to the team that looks like they know what they're doing. I'm going to get the Atlanta. It's going to cost you $95 million to get me. And at that point, I probably was going to say no. That's too much. I like Hartenstein now. A lot. A ton.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Back to the draft, man. So Bronny's drafted, going to the Lakers. We're going to see a lot of Bronny in Summer League, obviously.
G League.
Yeah, before the C League, you go to the Summer League. The Summer League starts in 3 weeks? So
just off him and 2.
Yeah, so he'll be there. Big moment for Bronny, of course. People had jokes. They were saying, when you know the answers to the test, so you got to act like you don't know when he was crying when he got drafted. I don't like the hate that has been thrown his way.
Why not?
That he was drafted number 55?
You think he's 55th best player in this draft?
I don't know. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't know. Because people say, and this is what people are referencing, John Smith, if he would have stayed another year in college, should have stayed another year in college. John Smith would have stayed another. Rich Paul says Bronny would be in the NBA even if his name was John Smith. And folks are like, that's not true, which it's not. But then there's also his college teammate that averaged 16.5 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, and 3 assists, who was not drafted, while Bronny was the 55th overall pick. And folks are like, well, what do you have to say about that? Explain that. And I'm like, well, you also have A.J. Johnson, who was drafted 23rd overall and averaged less than Bronny. So
yeah, but also A.J. Johnson was in a rotation of a bunch of different players. The big difference.
Doesn't matter. When you average
Bronny,
you can't say Bronny averaged 4.8 points a game, and then A.J. Johnson averaged 2.9 points a game, and then give A.J. Johnson the benefit of the doubt because of X, Y, and Z, but not give Bronny no benefit of the doubt. That's an uneven argument. You can't do that. So what I'm saying is, if y'all gonna sit there and penalize Bronny for averaging 4.8 points a game and being drafted 55th overall, then y'all need to go look at the Bucks. And if y'all gonna get mad about nepotism in the NBA, let me tell y'all about 4 decades too late. 4. You think Luke Walton would have had the career he had if his dad wasn't Bill? He was the youngest coach in NFL in NBA history. Youngest. Do you think he would have had that? No. Do you think Mike Dunleavy Jr. would have the career that he had or gotten the start that he had and drafted where he was if his father wasn't Mike Dunleavy Sr.? No. Do you think all of the Barry brothers would be there where they were? Like, just because your nepotism got you in the door, talent and hard work got to keep you there. Nepotism has gotten a lot of people in the door. Oh, a whole lot of people. So I don't understand the hate that's what I'm saying. I don't understand the hate that he's getting for nepotism when it's played in the NBA for years. But now it's a big deal. Well, it's because of LeBron.
But this is, it's fine. At the end of the day, it's going to be fine. But this is going to be like everything else that the Lakers do. It's going to be ghetto.
Ooh.
You're going to do this, and then now this team, still a bad roster, terrible roster, not getting any better anytime soon. And then when this goes left, everybody's going to be looking at him. So prepare for that. It's the same thing that I said when you traded all those assets away for Anthony Davis. And now this team is going to be in flux. This team is not a contender. And then they're going to look and say, well, damn. Well,
I mean, they were going to say all of that whether they drafted Bronny or not. That was nothing. Drafting Bronny doesn't change anything that you said about the Lakers. If you drafted John Smith, that team was still going to be ghetto. It was still going to be bad. It's still going to be a terrible roster.
But now you added more media circus, which is fine.
It's the Lakers.
I do. It's going to be interesting to see who he plays in front of, though, because if he's on the floor, then he's playing in front of somebody who's better than he is.
On the Lakers? I mean,
yes.
Hey man, he'll get in the game at the end of the game, just like Thanasis. If he's on the team, he still got to make the team, because he still could go to the G League. Like there's still hurdles, although he has LeBron in his corner, which is the ultimate big joker for that franchise. But for LeBron, this also is kind of like a colander or a filter. You keep saying you want to win another chip. You keep saying you want to do all these things. You can't lose the locker room trying to cape for your son. So you said if you play Bronny for more minutes over somebody that he's better than, then you lose the locker room. You lose the locker room, you're not going to win a championship.
Yeah.
AD
I
already
mean,
on
the
Bryce.
other point guards on this team are D'Angelo Russell, Gabe Vince, and Spencer Dinwiddie.
Well, D'Angelo Russell probably will be traded.
Whoever you get for D'Angelo Russell is going to be surely a lot better than Bronny.
Oh, you think Bronny gonna start?
No, what I'm saying is he's going to be there for, realistically on this team, Bronny's going to be the worst player on the Lakers.
Yeah.
So if he's playing, then you're playing somebody.
You're assuming
who's
that he's
better
going.
than-
So you're assuming he's going to play a significant role.
No, I think that he.
What are you?
Listen, everything
What are
about-
you trying to insinuate?
everything-
Because there's a lot of worse
everything
players
that-
on the league that don't play. Worst players on the team that don't play. Boston got 5 of them. They got 4. They got 7 players. The other 3 tiptoe around each other to be the worst player on the team, and they play at the end of the game.
Yeah, because they spent all their money on their starting lineup, and then the rest of you're a filler. Let me tell you, you could be dead tomorrow, kid. You'll be a cut ass. I think that Bronny is probably a 2-way contract player. I don't think that he should probably play any NBA minutes this year, and I that's what I
He's-
think.
he's
But
gonna
I
play
don't.
some minutes. He's gonna play.
I don't.
He's gonna play. I don't know if he'll
Okay,
stay on the
like
roster,
this-
but they'll bring him up to get a taste of NBA action. Will it be meaningful?
like this
I
is-
doubt it.
This is my thing. I look at a guy like Sharif Cooper. Sharif Cooper is mountains better than Bronny James. And proven.
Mhm.
So
But now you're looking at, if you want, we've also discussed why Sharif Cooper, or the rumors of why Sharif Cooper isn't in the league. We've had that discussion. It's the
yeah, but you
attitude.
yeah, but also 20, 30 points a night is 20, 30 points a night.
Not
There's
giving
plenty
you
of
30
players who
points
don't
in the
have.
league. Who's the what? Sharif Abdul Rahim was giving you
Wait.
20 points a night, not Sharif.
But what
Cooper.
I'm saying, he was in the G League. Sharif Cooper was cooking. What you think? What you think, Bronny? What do you think Bronny is finna get in the G League?
It don't matter. It don't matter. That don't matter.
Well, okay, do you think he'll be good in the G League?
I think he'll be a little bit better than he was with USC. So 10 points,
Which is
5
low.
rebounds.
You think?
10 points, 5
You think
rebounds.
he get 10 points?
10 points, 5 rebounds,
I
5
will-
assists.
Yo, no way in hell Bronny averages 10 points in G League. It's not gonna happen. You don't go from average and go back to what he was averaging.
4.8 points. I'd close it out. 4.8 points.
Yeah, he's not gonna double his point total with adults.
You never know, man. You never know. I think it'll be I think he'll be, like you said, on a 2-way contract. I think he'll get called up to do the history thing with his dad. He's gonna play at the end of the year with his dad. And then at that point, even though they say
At the end of the year.
signing, his dad
So
might
you must
retire.
think that they ain't gonna make the playoffs.
You can still make the playoffs. They make the teams that make the playoffs still call up G League players. When it's decided where you are, normally within the last 3 or 4 games. Now, it is what it is.
We know who the Lakers are too. They gonna be playing for a play-in spot. If you got time to run Bronny out there, then they're not gonna be a team that solidify, hey, we're gonna be one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the West. We're gonna be a slam
I don't
dunk.
think you can say that.
You're going.
This free agency ain't over with.
Anybody want to make a wager? I can look at your money and draft picks. And,
I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I'm saying there's still there's a lot of players out there that we'll get to after we finish this.
there ain't what players can they get to put them in a top 5 conversation in the West?
I don't know.
I'm
We have
telling
to-
you,
I have not thought about that at all.
DeMar DeRozan is probably the best thing that I heard that they could get. He don't do it. And I need you to understand, we're going to talk about later, Clay already said, no, I'm good on the Lakers. And they tried to pay him $80 million.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have gone if I were Clay. Not now. If I were at the end of the free agency, I would have gone. Not now. Not with Luka. Luka called and LeBron called. Hey, LeBron, cool story. Told me, remember in the finals, told me shut the hell up. All right, well, I see you. Because they're going to make them play game 2. It's going to be Mavericks Lakers. Watch. Game 2.
Oh, Christmas. That's a Christmas game.
So,
For sure.
and then finally in the draft, though, nobody's been talking about this weird case. They kind of talked about it, and then they passed it on, and nobody talked about it during his time at Kyle Filipowski. At the beginning of the basketball season, was the number 1 overall pick. He was the number 1 overall pick. They thought he was going to be that dude. He slid all the way to pick 32 to the Jazz. Another guy that had a great draft. But then, and we were trying to figure out, and I kept looking, why did he fall? There really wasn't a lot that came out about about his workout. They did say that he was kind of slow, but I mean, he's also a center, so I mean, but he can shoot.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
But and then you also hear about the Duke attitude. He got a bit. He's a little whatever the attitude is of basketball. But the Grayson Allen stereotype is still there for Duke players, white Duke players.
I mean, it don't matter. JJ Redick just got a job, so
after calling a girl, nope, won't go there. So Kyle Filipowski's, but it came out that Kyle Filipowski's brother and mom allegedly revealed that his girlfriend groomed him into the Mormon culture and cut him off from the family, which is ironic because now he ends up in Utah. Other than messaging him on his IG account, they don't have much to get in touch with him at all. Mind you, he's 19. His girlfriend is 27 now, and she went to the prom with him, which means he was 17 and she was 24. They not like us. You about to say it's okay because she's
nope. I was gonna say something even worse, and I'm not.
But she like Brittany Renner?
No. I was gonna say, well, he gonna be focused. He ain't gonna do much outside of playing basketball, and and he's in the right place for that. I think he's gonna. I think this whole situation is weird, super weird, and it's amazing they actually put their business out there. But the Jazz hit the jackpot. You finna find your king. You finna find your king.
They are.
Yeah.
The Jazz got a lot of moving parts, but they had a good draft. The Celtics, man, they had what, 2 picks? The Celtics had like 2 picks.
Man, I start looking at this Jazz team. It gets scarier and scarier because Keontae George will be their guy.
Yeah,
he'll be the 2 guard probably.
Mm-hmm.
I think eventually they're gonna move Isaiah Collier to their 1, and then you could maybe move Sexton and get something back for him. Lauri Markkanen, they got Taylor Hendricks, they got John Collins. They still got Walker Kessler, who I think they're going to move away from. And then, yeah, you got Flip. Getting Flip as a rangy 4 or 5 who can shoot. Markkanen, Hendricks, John Collins, and Flip all kind of, you can put them on the floor in different iterations, and they can all shoot the ball versus Walker Kessler, who is a traditional stand in front of the rim protector.
Mm-hmm. Kessler would be better coming off the bench, but you're gonna have to pay him because he's so good.
Just a different. No, they're gonna move him. They're gonna move him. He's an asset. They're gonna be teams in need.
Not the Jazz. I know they're gonna move him. I'm saying somebody's gonna have to eventually pay him because he's 7 foot. He protects the rim and he's quiet. He doesn't have a lot of controversy. He never will. So, I think Boston got a steal with that dude from Creighton.
Yeah.
He's basically athletic Sam Hauser, which is what you need. So Boston was good. Of course, the Spurs.
You got to pay everybody volunteer money.
Yep. Of course, the Spurs. I think OKC had a okay draft. I don't know who they drafted, but I think they had an okay draft. Also this draft wasn't strong, so it's kind of difficult to say who had a really good or bad draft.
See, I don't think it was.
You don't know who a lot of these people are.
I don't think that this class is not. I don't think it's not.
Oh, Houston.
I think that
Houston too.
I think that yes. I think that there are going to be a lot of players in this draft now, especially the way the new NBA is set up, that are very good role players. I think that it's a little bit more difficult to identify who's going to be good, but these guys they're going to fit into their role and play well. I am no longer a believer this isn't a good draft. I've looked at a lot of these guys. I mean, like Dillingham. Dillingham going to Minnesota is scary.
Oh, yeah. Especially if they plan on, well, I don't know if they're going to move on from Karl Anthony Towns, because even though he signed to that contract, the way that the cap is moving, I mean, that's going to end up being a regular contract pretty soon.
Yeah. Kyle Ware going to the Pacers.
Zach Edey going to Memphis.
Now, I'm a little concerned about that. I watched something with, I think his name is Amin LD. I can't think of Amin's last name, but he was talking about how they kind of were looking at the Pete and his profile. And he kind of compared him to Zach. Yeah, he kind of compared him to Zach Edey. And I was like, there are a lot of similarities between Hasheem Thabeet and Zach Edey.
Yeah, but Hasheem Thabeet didn't have Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant.
That too, but I don't know if Edey's gonna be able to keep up with their pace. Ja likes to move. Edey is slow.
That's fine. You ain't got to. Let me run. Me, Jaren Jackson, and everybody else gonna run, and all you got to do, block shots, get rebounds, and be Steven Adams. That's all we need you to do. And be able to
He's not going to be able to be Steven Adams. Steven Adams is
Steven Adams though. He's more offensively talented than most of those fives.
But the thing about Steven Adams is he's an elite team rebounder. Like, remember at one point we thought that we were looking at either Steven Adams or Andre Drummond. And while Drummond is a better personal rebounder, every team that Steven Adams plays for, their team rebounds better once he's on the floor because of the way he boxes out and the way that he does things. So, like, Steven Adams is a guy that actually very, very difficult to quantify. That's the reason he always has jobs. And every team that he plays for, he's kind of a very large but not massive part of their team, if that makes sense.
I think Zach Edey is going to be Steven Adams with a jump hook and a mid-range shot. I think that's what he's too big to move, and he's just going to get stronger, and he already has a post-game and touch around the rim. So for that team, I think, and he can block shots because he's 7'4". So, I mean, or 7'3" or whatever he is. So I think for them, that's a good pickup. But moving on to free agency, we're going to start with the arrow that pierced his heart. The Atlanta Hawks free agency started 3 days ago or 2 days ago. And the first move was the Atlanta Hawks are trading DeJounte Murray to the New Orleans Pelicans for Larry Nance Jr.
Who?
Dyson
All right,
Daniels.
you sent me Larry Nance Sr.
Dyson Daniels, a 2025 first-round pick via the Lakers, and a 2027 first-round pick, least favorable of the Bucks Pelicans, which is bad. I looked up Dyson Daniels. He's a 6'8" combo guard. So it goes to, at the time, after the draft and after I saw this and who they got, you kind of see that they're prioritizing this is a copycat league, right? So everybody's trying to prioritize being able to guard the Celtics because the Celtics were so good and so much better than almost everybody for the whole year. They were the number one team wire to wire the whole year. And they did it with wings, right? 6'10", 6'9", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and then Porzingis, who's 7'4" or 7'2", right? So I think the copycat league is doing that, and Dyson Daniels is a 6'8" dude. Larry Nance Jr. throw in to make the salaries work, and he can roll to the rim and dunk. That's really it. Would I have done this for DeJounte Murray? Hell no. But when you look at who else was interested, the Los Angeles Lakers, we already said we cannot give him to the Lakers. Then you said, I think Minnesota came calling. I probably would have looked at that. But if Utah, he went to Minnesota, he was there. I don't think he would have gone to Utah. he might have, like, we would have traded him there. I don't think he would have been happy there, and he would have tried to force his way out or requested a trade. And then there was always San
I think
Antonio. So I don't.
So for me, there are a couple things. First thing is the reason we got him in the first place is because when Trey was here, they said that we did not have another facilitator on the floor. We only had one guy who could facilitate, get other people shots. So we traded him away for Dyson Daniels, who's not going to be able to facilitate like DeJounte could. So now we're right back in the same situation. The reason that they got Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. is because size. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to play Dyson Daniels and play Trey at the same time, then you can't play Hunter. You got to play Reza Shea and hope that he can do some level of facilitation.
Oh, you assume Hunter.
Or I get.
So to me, all of these moves tell me, the draft and these moves tell me that there's still moves to be made. I don't think Hunter and maybe not Capella will be on the roster at the end of this free agency period. I think both
so my question is, who is our starting two guard? You could always go back to Bogey, but if you go back to Bogey and Trey, then what's the issue? There's not enough defense from the guards. Point of attack defense is terrible. So I don't think that you could put Bogey out there. They didn't really play Kobe Buffkin enough, and I think he's our backup point guard. If you play Dyson Daniels, then I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a very good point of attack defender, but then I guess you're going to give a lot of responsibility to Jalen Johnson to facilitate the offense.
Yes. I think Jalen Johnson right now, well, it's already been reported, he's basically the only untouchable piece. I think what they want for Trae Young, they're trying to recoup everything that they lost from the DeJounte Murray trade. They did that experiment and they went 55-62, which I'm not surprised.
This is their wait. This is their fucking fault. You know how much we complain about being 500? Well, the only thing worse than being 500 is being sub 500. We talked about how bad Date was and all the rest of that. At least we were mediocre. No longer mediocre. We ran off Travis Schlenk. Everything about this says that our leadership doesn't know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. The wrestlers are ass now. The wrestlers are awful, awful leaders. Awful, awful. They are terrible. Awful. I can't stress to you
I have a question.
How awful the wrestlers are. They're awful.
They also did this to stay under the tax. I'm tired of them being cheap. And why can't anybody play with Trae Young if he's the greatest player to ever play basketball?
Man, first off, I'm going to answer both of those. One, that stay under the luxury tax shit is some bullshit. I just saw the Celtics give the highest contract in the history of the league 2 years in a row.
Back to back.
LeBron is about to sign for another gajillion dollars. They paid Hartenstein $87 million. So all that, they couldn't stay under the luxury tax.
They
all
have
that
much money to pay Derek White is the question. He's a damn fifth player.
I don't care what the wrestlers are saying about trying not to be cheap. Who, other than Trey, we really couldn't be paying that much money. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know. And I don't know.
And on top of that, DeJounte was on the better deal. DeJounte's deal was actually a good deal. That's the worst part about it is you get a player on a good deal. That's a good asset. Instead of keeping the asset, you trade it. Now I'm happy that he was traded because he gets paid now more because there's a trade kicker. So I'm happy he gets his money. He's on a much better team that seems to be headed in a different direction than us. But I have no faith and no hope for the Atlanta Hawks anytime in the near future.
I don't know what we're doing. We traded AJ Griffin for the 44th pick.
Terrible move.
We ended up getting the 40. This was mind you, we drafted him 2 years ago in the first round. I think we got him the draft after Jalen.
Yes, and when he shot, he was an elite shooter. During his rookie season, I think he was one of the top 20 rookies in the NBA. This new kid that we just drafted is not going to be in one of the top 20 rookies in the NBA.
There were AJ
Hell, we
Griffin
be
did
lucky
struggle.
Risa Shea is.
He did struggle on defense, but I mean, he was also a rookie, and he just did not fit for whatever reason. I don't know why, but what's our coach name? It's not Snyder, is it? No,
Quinn Snyder. Yes,
Quinn
it is.
Snyder.
Quinn Snyder.
I was gonna say Dan Snyder. Quinn Snyder, not Dan. Woo, Quinn Snyder.
Hey, they both look to be ruining organizations.
Quinn Snyder did not get along with AJ Griffin. Sneaky, you watch this every week. You know exactly where I was going. I think AJ Griffin requested to be traded. I don't think he stayed there. I don't think he was out of the rotation. Nobody would give an update about what was wrong with him. There really wasn't. It just didn't work out, and I don't think he was in favor with personally Trey. You know how it works when you're not in favor with Trey, they get rid of you. We've seen that.
So now that's John Collins, it's Kevin Huerter, DeJounte Murray, AJ Griffin.
Mm-hmm. So you have.
Shout out to that boy Joffrey Baratheon.
He requested a trade, and then you also had. Now I'm not surprised about Sadiq Bey being released because he's towards ACL so late. But what's frustrating is when you think about DeJounte Murray, we traded all those picks. We traded what, 4 assets for DeJounte Murray, 2 picks and whatever. And then when it comes to Sadiq Bey, you traded 5 second-round picks. 5. So
not that we play them. Hell, we don't play our first-round picks.
So for 2 players, we traded 10 to 11 assets, and we had them for 2 years. And we got essentially nothing in return. That, to me, is more hurtful than anything else. I can deal with trying to figure some stuff out. I'm way more optimistic about the Hawks and Trey than you are. Well, I was. I don't know if I am now. But
why? Why would that's my question is, at what point do they does it seem like they're trying to win this year?
No. So this is the part where I kept saying I don't know what's happening, because we have Trae Young, Kobe Buffkin, Bogey Daniels. We signed Garrison Matthews and Lundy, Hunter, Risha Shea, and our 2 draft picks, Jalen Johnson, Muhammad Guy, and Lydell, and then Capello, Kongu, Larry Nance Jr., Bruno Fernando. So our point
Liddell
guard,
probably
we
goes
ain't got
home.
nothing.
Wait. Liddell probably goes home. He was just probably a throw-in. Muhammad Gay, we still haven't given an opportunity to see what the hell he looks like yet.
Well, yeah, the back injury.
Bruno Fernando. I think that I like you a lot. I think you're a good team guy, but Larry Nance Jr. is better than you are. Sorry. Harsh reality. Lundy and Matthews specifically, he's a specialist. Dyson Daniels, not a scorer. Bogey is older and a bench player. A good bench player. And then you have Buffkin, who you didn't give enough minutes to last year to see what he could do. Everything, no player development, no plan. Only plan is stay under the damn luxury tax and don't trade Trey. Everything else just doesn't make sense.
It's Trey and Jalen, which I will say that came out at the end of last season. The only 2 untouchable players are Trey and Jalen. And then there was a whole bunch of noise all the way up until free agency, and we're left with Trey and Jalen. Now, I will say this team, the way they looks like they're trying to construct it, which it's a loss either way, because we're trying to construct it as we did in when we went to the Eastern Conference Finals. But if you construct it in the way of the Eastern Conference Finals teams, with Trey having the ball, shooting threes, passing it to the pick and roll and kick, then why would you fire the GM who built the exact, or basically wrote the plan for the roster you're trying to construct? Why would you do
you're right.
that?
This is still basically like, that's the other frustrating part is You fire the guy who built the team, and then the team is still the same.
And you build the team in his image. That's the crazy thing. You can't fire a dude and say it didn't work and then build the team that he's trying to build. You can't do that. But
and that's
the
exactly
wrestlers.
I mean, Jalen Johnson is basically John Collins, but with dribbling, but less of a shot. Like Clint Capella's still there. Like it's basically the same
less of a
team.
shot anymore.
Let me see it. I don't. I hope so, but I don't think he'll be offensively. I don't think he can be as good as John Collins.
Would you like to put a wager on that? You said offensively, Jalen Johnson will not be as good as John Collins.
Well, they're different.
How?
Jalen will pass the ball better, but as far as like being able to score, Jalen Johnson will never be able to score as good as John Collins.
No. I think Jalen Johnson will average more points than John Collins next year. More points, similar rebounds, more assists, more steals, more blocks.
I think he's going to have more shots. I think they're going to do a better job of getting him opportunities.
I think he can create his own shot. He's going to get more shots because he can create his own shot. That was the thing with John Collins could never create his own shot. That was always the issue. He could never create his own shot. He could never dribble. He could pick, and then we refused to give him the ball in the post because that's not how you play with Trey. So with Trey, Jalen Johnson can dribble. I think he's just as good a shooter as John Collins from three. And he can rebound like John Collins. He can lead the break. He can pass. He can steal. He can block just like John Collins. I think he is what we wanted John Collins to be. I think you just like John Collins.
And I'm interested to see I think this team doesn't make sense to me. I think that Jalen Johnson needs to play some minutes at the 5, in my opinion.
No. Jalen Johnson? No.
Yes. He's already, remember in the G League, he played the 5. And then he played some minutes last year at the 5. But if I don't know what our team is supposed to be.
As I said, nobody knows because you can't compete with this roster.
Because I would like, if I want to see something, let me see something like Jalen at the 5, Hunter at the 4, Reza Shea at the 3, Dyson Daniels at the 2, Trey at the 1.
Yeah. No, I don't want Jalen at the 5. But we'll see what the Hawks are doing.
Outside of like the big 5s, the majority of stretch fours, I mean, the guys who are playing the 5 position, Bam Adebayo, I don't think that Jalen Johnson has any problem with that.
Yeah, but he's not. I don't think Jalen Johnson serves.
Matter of fact, anybody in our division, Miami, Jalen and Bam, perfectly fine. Wendell Carter Jr. and Jalen, perfectly fine. The Wizards, I don't know who their starting 5 is. If they start Sarr, Jalen Johnson and Sarr be perfectly fine. Now, Valanciunas, then you need a bigger guy. But I don't know if Valanciunas is going to be their starting 5.
We'll see. I don't know why what's going on with my lights, man?
Dark matter. But yeah, this team doesn't seem to have a plan as far as I'm considered. But now I'm doing just like last year. I'm going to sit back and watch this thing melt down like I know it is. Once we suck again next year, at least we have a couple draft picks. I think they're going to try to package them together and try to move up because next year's draft is supposed to. That's the reason I think they wanted all of those draft picks this year is they're going to try to bundle and move up next year and get one of the guys next
year. Yeah. In free agency, Jason Tatum has reached an agreement for 305 years, $315 million supermax contract, largest contract in NBA history.
I want to know where their money is. They got to be printing money. It's like when the Rams kept getting $1 million players, and I'm like, hey, how can y'all have everybody good at the same time? And none of my teams can never have this. Why can't we pay 4 people $15 trillion?
Because you got Bogey on the bench. But so the Celtics have gone all in paying 6 people. It is Drew Holiday, 5 people. The starting 5, I guess. Derek White also got 4 years, $125. So he's at what's that, 30
Yep.
million, 31.25 million dollars a year. And then Jason Tatum is at 5 years, 315, which is $60 million a year, 63 to be exact. Then of course you have 50 something with Brown, 30 something with Drew, 30 something with Porzingis, right? Somewhere in their 20s and 30s. So the Celtics, either they're embracing this luxury tax, or I don't know how they can pay all this money. I don't know how they can do it.
Sneaky to answer your question, yes, I think that Jalen at the 5 would allow us to space and move the floor a lot better. I think that, I don't think that we care about playing defense anyway. So if we're not, like, I think it's very clear what Quinn wants to do is space the floor and shoot threes. I think that those 5 guys on the floor give you Dyson Daniels, who is going to be our point of attack defender. That's his sole purpose on life. And then you have Rizate, who's supposed to be able to shoot, DeAndre Hunter, who I think is best available, who could shoot and defend. And then you have Jalen Johnson, who'll be the best shooting 5 that we would have. That's the only way you can get any type of spacing for the 5. Okongwu and Capella just not there.
Yeah. What do you think about the Celtics?
And I mean the Okongwu and Jalen, ain't they about the same height?
6'9". Risha Shea 6'9", Jalen 6'9", Okongwu 6'9",
Larry Nance
Dyson
Jr.
Daniels
6'10",
6'9", Larry Nance Jr. 6'10". Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is.
I
don't really have any other thing to say
Celtics.
about the Hawks, just because I don't know what else we're gonna do. I'm not about to sit here. I did that all last year. I sat here. Y'all can go back for 40 episodes. I did this all last year, trying to figure out what the Hawks are doing, and I never figured it out. One thing I did learn in engineering school, sometimes you just gotta sit back and punt. Start all over, figure it out, let them figure it out, and then you come back. I'm not about to rack my brain to do that.
But why do we keep punting on first down? We punt on first down every season.
Mm-hmm. Don't know, because we ran the annexation of Puerto Rico, and it didn't work. So we punt. That's what happens. Don't matter. Some teams will be better service punting on second down. If it's 1st and 47 or 2nd and 47, let's just punt. Let's just punt. Call it over. As
a fan of the Florida Gators, I would probably rather punt on second down than run screens. So I mean, pick your poison.
So the Celtics paid everybody, literally everybody. So they have their top 5.
The bench, bench,
Hauser
is minimums.
They drafted a 6'10" Hauser that's more athletic, allegedly. I like
Hauser though. I like Sam Hauser.
But I don't know where they get this money from. I don't know, but I know they're going all in. Now, I do think they need to add a big, because I like Horford, and he's going to come back for the vet minimum because that's the only thing they can offer him. But you're going to have somebody else, because Porzingis is not going to be able to play the whole year. What are you talking about?
He's out. He's out for the next 6 months.
Yeah. So you got to get another big. Or else you're going to play Luke Cornette. You might be able to.
And also, one day we got to talk about James Wiseman and what the fuck is going on with that.
Why not sign him?
Why don't nobody love him? Everywhere he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, he does. So you had the Celtics.
He damn near Anthony Bennett while y'all playing.
Damn, Anthony Bennett played more than him.
I was trying not to say that.
I'd say it. Tell the truth. You don't tell the truth about the Hawks and then be all sad and shy about talking about everybody else.
No. Oh, that ain't my problem. Not my monkey, not my circus. I ain't got nothing to do with them.
Who else we had? James Harden plans this. He's staying put. 2 years, $70 million contract to return to the Clippers. Cool.
I like this. I think it's $35 million is more than fair for James Harden for the next 2 years. He's still an elite facilitator.
And as a player,
I think
after the first year.
Yeah. And I think that the bigger issue with this team is Kawhi not being healthy.
Yep. So you got that. Bam got his 3-year, $166 million maximum extension. So he got his from Miami. Miami's gonna obviously build around Bam and Jaime Jaquez, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Tyler Hero, because Jimmy right now is up in the air. So you have Bam. You also have Toronto Raptors, 5 years, $270 million for Scotty Barnes. And then you also have, of this last group, Cade Cunningham, 5 years, $226 million. Of these four, what's your favorite one? And which one is stealing?
Okay, to me, these are all fair. These are all fair contracts as far as I'm considered. James at $35 million is more than fair. It's not 45. It's not 40, 45, $50 million. That's not bad. I mean, I told y'all, 6 man of the year, we're paying Bogey like $20 million. Starter, 6 man of the year, you're going to be like $20, $25 million. Paying James Harden $35 million, more than reasonable. Bam, Miami's going to pay him because
they got to.
They have to pay him, and it looks like Jimmy is out.
And they like continuity down there. So if you're gonna, you got to keep somebody.
This is a commiserate pick. They got to make some other moves, but this isn't a big issue. And I think it's the right one. Next contract. Scotty Barnes, he's the centerpiece. He is the guy that everybody's looking for.
Yeah, you can't let him.
If his shot gets a little bit better, he is terrorizing because he's so big and strong and fast and physical. So there was no negotiation with this. Give me my damn money. They also paid quickly, which was a little interesting to me, but I felt like that was best available.
That was overpay, but I ain't worried about it with them because I don't think they're also stacking picks. And then Cade Cunningham.
And this is another where there was no negotiation here. What's the max you can give me? Oh, you're the Detroit Pistons. Can you div without me? Oh, no, then I want my money. Very simple. I don't have a favorite. Everybody did the right thing. But I also don't think that these were long conversations either.
So I agree with Harden. I think Harden's at the end of his career. I think he's probably got about 3 to 4 years left. Is also a really good for both sides. 2 years, $70 million, that player option. So if he doesn't like it there, he can get out, or you can opt in and still trade him at $35 million on next year's player cap. Is actually a tradable contract for an expiring all-star, all-NBA player. Yep. So that's a good one. Bam, I agree 1,000%. Nothing you could do. You like continuity? Pat Riley's not just going to blow up a team unless he's going to get a super team back. So he's basically their cornerstone forward/center till 2030, which if you're trying to build a franchise and obviously Pat sold him on it, that you're going to go get somebody. So Bam, and plus you're not going to be able to get that anywhere else, Bam. Well, you were going to be able to get it, but I don't know if you would get that much money and that much leeway in Miami. You wouldn't be the man anywhere else. You're the man in Miami now. Scotty Barnes, no all-star team. I think he got one all-star team, or no?
Yeah.
One all-star team, no all-NBA. But at 6'9", the only reason he doesn't have those accolades, in my opinion, is because he's playing in Toronto. He's basically
2024 all-star.
Yeah. So this was his first all-star team this year.
And 2022 rookie of the year. That's going to get you your money.
So you get $270 million. If you let him go anywhere else, that team becomes an instant division favorite and or finals appearance favorite, conference champion.
And also, this is the replacement for Pascal Siakam, who you let go. Couldn't keep both of them. You had to make a decision. You went with the younger asset, which was the right answer. You got to pay the asset if you got rid of the other guy.
So now they've got some work to do. This one is a little bit of a head scratcher because you fired Monty, you brought in Bickerstaff. I think Bickerstaff may have had a say in this. Like, I'll come be the coach. You offer me the coaching position, but I like Cade Cunningham at the one. You remember he came from Cleveland, where you had Darius Garland, who really wasn't that great of a point guard. Where you have Cade now, plus you have all these other athletic pieces. Adding Cade to it, I do probably, if he becomes a better facilitator, I don't even know who. I can see how it works. I don't know if he was gonna be. I don't know if he would have gotten 5 years, $226 million, or anything close anywhere else. I don't know if he would have got a max extension somewhere else.
Well, they're the only team that can offer it because he was a rookie. But I mean, you got to think he's 6'6", he's 22 years old. For a career, he averages 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists on a terrible team. Like he's it. He's it. You're gonna pay that for that guy. He's a 6'6" point guard.
So if you make it, so he's now your cornerstone, which means everybody else.
And he's the best player on this team by hands and feet.
Everybody else is expendable to me. Now on that team, I think they'll probably end up paying Jalen Duren. They have Tobias Harris,
Ivy, and Thompson.
I think all of them could be trade pieces to get somebody, some type of established veteran star type player that you could trade for, because they got a lot of picks, they got a lot of players. Jaden Ivey is Little Westbrook is what they call him, the Thompson robot. Yeah, I don't think they'll trade Duren because Duren is like 21, and there's no way him and K would be good. But they have so many other players that they could trade. I honestly think that I would trade something and go get them a point guard. I don't think he should play point guard. 1, I think he should play the 2. But I don't know if I would have given him a max extension, but I understand it because you really can't lose him. Because I wouldn't.
To me, I like the combination of Cunningham and Ivy. Tobias Harris, Asar Thompson, I'm going to put at the 3. Tobias, I'm gonna have at the 4, and Jalen Duren at the 5. They did trade for Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't know if they're gonna keep him or if that's gonna be a buyout type of situation.
It don't matter.
Yeah, but for me, I would be like those 5 guys I can rock with, and they're on the rookie contracts. So yeah, I could spend some money on a bench to try to get some and pay some vets. Hey man, I'll give you 2 years. And I give you a 3-year contract, but all of the money is in the first 2 years. I'm going to do something where in that last year you can be an expiring or something. So you're not stuck here if you want to get out too. But yeah, there's a way that, I mean, this starting 5 is not terrible. Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson. But I'm saying now that as much as everybody doesn't love Tobias, I think in this place, like they're also very young. Cade's young, Jaden's young, Marcus Sasser is young, and then Asar Thompson
that's
is
the
young.
other person I couldn't think of. I know they got one more. Tobias, people didn't like Tobias because they didn't like his contract. They didn't necessarily.
Yeah. But at the new contract, at this new contract, $25 million is fine. You got the money to spend in the first place. This could be a reasonable team. This is how I was looking at the Orlando Magic. Now, the thing that I say that between these two teams is Orlando Magic just had a better plan, a better execution. But the Orlando Magic, they could run the Orlando Magic play and go from being a very bad team to, wow, this is a team that can play defense. Everybody can shoot a little bit. Everybody can dribble the ball effectively. And you might be able to do something.
If I were Detroit,
that's the same.
I would have made it. As soon as you knew that Trey and DeJounte were available for a trade, I would have made that trade for DeJounte, because you would have been able to move Trey. K to the 2. You had enough players to actually facilitate that trade. You got size. You have speed. You have defense. You got an enforcer, Remember, they got the dude that be breaking people's jaw up there. So you had a lot of picks and players to go get somebody, which again, free agency still ain't over, right? So you had a lot of picks and players to go get somebody. I would have probably gone after DeJounte, especially after I saw
DeJounte would have been perfect.
After seeing what they got, what we got for DeJounte. What?
Larry Nance and Dyson Daniels. I would have gave you Jason. I would have gave you Jaden Ivey. I would have gave you Marcus Sasser, and I would have gave you 2 or 3 picks. You want them, get them, and those picks are gonna be better than the Pelicans picks. You would assume. And then, you got Cade at the 1. You could play DeJounte at the 2 because, number one, Cade is a bigger 1. DeJounte being a smaller 2 is perfectly fine. You got Tobias Inasar and Jalen Duren. You would have had your team. And I believe that DeJounte would have drugged their ass to some wins.
Mm-hmm. You drug us to some wins.
Yep.
But, I'm not going to hate on nobody getting that money. At the end of the day, they got that money. He earned it. He stayed on he's been on a 60-loss team for the last 3 years. So,
and the other part about it is, man, Cade is in a shitty place, but the rest of the NBA wants that guy.
Yeah. So it's also like, I'm not gonna give him to you as well.
Yeah. If you go anywhere else, Cade is probably the first or second best asset on the team. Like, if he plays on the Hawks, he's the best asset we have, I think.
United States lost. Yeah. So, but in other news, in some role players, Obi Toppin, 4 years, $60 million back to Indiana.
Great deal. Great deal for both parts. You got some time to be with a team that looks like they're trying to win. You can play the 3 and the 4. You're flexible. And they look like they got something going there. So you're not you're not stuck in perpetuity. You're stuck in a team that looks like they're heading.
That's a great for Obi because he's going to come off the bench. He may end up turning into their 6th man because they're going to get Benedict Mathurin back, and they're going to be an issue. They could make a couple moves too. We'll come back to that one. KCP leaves Denver after winning a chip. Gets 3 years, $66 million to go to Orlando. Great pickup. Orlando needed some outside shooting. They went after Clay.
They needed some scoring from the guard position.
They went after Clay. Clay, it didn't happen. So they went and got KCP, who probably is in a similar mold as Clay, 3-and-D type guy, 2 guard, who's going to come in at about 20-something million.
He finds a way everywhere he goes to be effective. I'm a part of this team, and you needed me before you may have not known that you needed me, but once I get on the floor, you're like, damn, we really need this guy.
And he's going to give you all that he got because he's going to play whether it's by hook or crook, whether it's ankle monitor or dislocated shoulder. He's going to be out there playing whatever. That's something you can count on. So, hey, it is what it is. And then, of course, in a redemption story, or the beginning of one possibly, Kevin Porter Jr. has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Clippers, including a player option after the first year. He's played in Greece in April and May. He had multiple suitors, but ultimately chose the Clippers. Of course, he had his off the court issues, but it seems that folks think that he may have gotten over them. So shout out to Kevin Porter Jr. for at least getting another shot.
Yeah, for me, it was as soon as you saw that, because I guess it was pretty clear that PG wasn't coming back. They're like, this, I said when he first was cut and nobody was talking to him, somebody should reach out. I'm reaching out when I say somebody, my team. But it looks like cap hit is like $2 million. He has a player option next year.
Yeah. And the player option is if he overperforms, then he can get a new contract. That's basically what that is.
Yeah. So this is a tryout for him, which I think, especially after the way that everything came out, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the story. Mm-hmm. Specifically his girlfriend talking about she never touched him and all of this. But we also did see the big sister say, you know, what she said. But I mean, he was already on the best contract in the NBA before he got in trouble. And somehow this contract is even more team friendly. Yeah. Now you gotta take advantage of this opportunity.
He reminds me of what is going. I think his ceiling is probably a better version of Marcus Smart. If y'all remember, Marcus Smart kind of had the same kind of reputation.
Yep, you read my mind.
And you know, he fought. I think he punched a dude in college who allegedly called him the N-word. He got in multiple fights.
Yeah.
He had that reputation, and he got to Boston. He basically had to tone it down. So I think Kevin Porter Jr. has that ability. Offensively, him and Jalen Green were about to be a scary, scary duo because Kevin Porter could do everything that Jalen couldn't do, and Jalen had the athleticism to do everything that Kevin Porter couldn't do. And it was going to be scary, but didn't work out.
And he's still 24 years old. 24.
Very, very young. So the Clippers, that's a good signing for them because if he turns out well, as much as we talk about the Clippers, they're old. And they traded away their future. We'll go that soon. They traded away their future for something that didn't work out. Now you got to rebuild your future while trying to satisfy your veterans and win now.
And the other part is, I mean, you got to take this opportunity like Tyrese Maxey did. I think that Tyrese Maxey learned a lot playing with James Harden. You're going to get a chance to play with a guy who's flourished in the position that you're going to probably play in. I assume him to play a little bit more 2 than 3. I mean, more 2 than 1. And James is going to basically put the ball where you want it.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I can see it. I don't think he's going to start. I think he's going to come off the bench, and I think they're going to try to make him the Energizer Bunny. You 24, you go run up and down the court forever until the rest of the dudes get their win. And you can do whatever you want. You can score. You can facilitate. You can do whatever you want.
He's going to have to start. Okay,
Remember,
so
we're
let
only
me,
in day
first
2
of all,
of free agency now. We only in day 2. So, yeah, I don't think any of these teams are done. Well, any of them. I don't think the Clippers are done.
But they need scoring. And I don't know. I mean, unless DeMar was to go to the Clippers, which is realistic.
He's been linked. He's from LA. He's been linked.
But I feel like if I'm DeMar DeRozan, I'm not going to the Clippers if PG just left it. Like, you're not. How much better does DeMar DeRozan think that he is than Paul George?
It's about role. It's about fit. I don't think Paul George fit as the third option on that team. I think DeMar DeRozan would. DeMar DeRozan is a better mid-range shooter than Paul George. I think Paul George is a much better defender. But when you couldn't pay for what you have to pay, you couldn't pay Paul George and keep Kawhi.
If I'm DeMar, I mean, I'd rather go to the Lakers than go to the Clippers.
Tomato to me.
I mean, I get to play for the varsity team. I mean, as much as I like,
I'm talking about.
Wait. Well, I mean, yeah, you also grew up a lifelong Laker fan, not a lifelong Clipper fan. Number 2, yeah, I'm playing with LeBron and AD. It's, to me, if you really look at the team, it's LeBron and AD or James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. I'm going with LeBron and AD.
We will see. I'm not willing to concede that yet because, again, it's too much. We'll have to come right back here in 2 weeks when some other massive trade happens or some other signing happens, and we'll be like, all right, well then what? I don't think most of these teams aren't done. I don't think the Lakers are done. I don't think the Clippers are done. I don't think the Hawks are done. I don't think the Nuggets are done. The only team I think that is probably close to being done is Dallas, because Dallas signed Klay Thompson to be the shooter to go along with Luka and Kyrie. I think Dallas, and I think they made another signing today too. They signed somebody else today to basically replace Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah.
I did not like them losing. Yeah. From New Orleans, who's basically in the Derrick Jones Jr. mold. I didn't
Yeah.
like them losing him because he was such a versatile defender, but you needed this is an upgrade over Tim Hardaway Jr. and all of the shooting that they had. You have two players that can break down, and they almost won a championship with two players and a bunch of people. And now you have Kyrie Irving and Luka, who can basically get any shot that they want. Klay Thompson don't have to do no running no more. All he has to do is shoot. The only thing about this move and about what Dallas is doing is that defense. Boy, y'all gonna have to figure something out because that defense is gonna be absolutely awful on the perimeter. It's gonna be absolutely horrid with those three.
Yeah, Clay, you have to come back and do something. Yeah, you have to come back and do something. But I mean, offensively,
yeah, you. Woo, Kyrie with Klay.
And I know y'all talked all that shit about Clay and him not being able to work. He's still he can still shoot that shit.
He's very angry and he's motivated.
Oh yeah. One thing, and it's going to go one or two ways for him. Either he's going to get consumed by his anger, and it's going to whoop him, or he's going to find a way to fuel himself into a way to torch you guys.
Yeah, because he said they didn't give him a contract last year, which he thinks he earned, which he feels that he was due, and he earned. And I don't know if I said this, but I thought about it. I think I did allude to it when they paid Draymond. If you remember when they paid Draymond, I was like, dog, so they paid Draymond. They got to play Klay, or if they don't pay Klay, basically you got to choose. You got to choose, or you got to trade everybody else away and keep that three-player core together. And I was like, I don't know if they're gonna do that with Klay, and it came out that they didn't offer him a contract, and he was professional about it, but he was upset about it. I don't know if I believe him being upset was warranted, because he was hurt for 2 years and they paid you your full salary. They paid you $42 million to not play.
I think he won one or two championships before he got paid too.
Yeah, and we paid you afterwards.
But when I wasn't getting paid and we had championships, it was fine. But now that I'm getting paid and we did win a championship, it's not fine.
Yeah, but you saying he didn't get paid? He got paid. Those 2 years he got hurt. You go look it up. Those 2 years he got hurt. How much money he made? Yeah, he made what? $70-80 million.
Yeah,
and he didn't pay at all. He didn't play at all. And you got hurt off time. You didn't get hurt on the Achilles. You didn't get hurt in practice. You didn't get hurt at the game. You got hurt in an open run. And we still paid you. So I don't know if that's warranted, him being upset. I think his pride was hurt because I missed past it. I think his pride was hurt because you chose Draymond over me. I don't think the money had anything. I think you chose Draymond over me. And you chose a dude that has basically been off the court, been one of the worst players you could have.
That's the other part. Is like,
dude, I haven't done anything wrong.
When I was playing, the reason I'm not playing is because I'm hurt. The reason he's not playing is because he's getting suspended
and smacking people and punching his teammates, but he's also the enforcer for the guy in Steph. So I mean, it does mark the end of an era. The Warriors' big three won 4 rings. When they were all fully healthy, they only lost 3 playoff series when they were fully healthy, which is wild to say. One of them being the finals with LeBron, the greatest finals performance we've probably ever seen. But for it to be an end of an era, that's a hell of a run. 4 rings. They lost in the championship once. They went 4-1. They only lost to the Cavs, right?
Yep.
They are a hell of a group, man. So shout out to Klay. I think
They also have been in a little bit of a tailspin ever since they lost Bob Myers. So I think that's some of it too. You're just not
another bad when you don't hire the right people.
Yeah.
Dunleavy came
You'd
in.
have been better off. You'd have been better off calling. Yeah, you'd have been better off calling Travis Schlenk,
which they should have done. Now they did also trade Chris Paul, or I'm sorry, release Chris Paul.
No,
and they waived him, and he got a 1-year deal to go to San Antonio. The reason I say this was a loss is because all that you gave up Jordan Poole, which I knew they had to offload that anyway, but you gave up Jordan Poole, you gave up somebody else, and you gave up picks to get Chris Paul and you basically get nothing back. That seems like that was an emotional move, and it didn't pay dividends.
Yes and no. You only had to deal with Chris Paul for 2 years. Jordan Poole is around. Is going to be around for the foreseeable future with the Wizards, and that's going to be a contract that's damn near impossible to trade for the next probably 3 years. Mm-hmm. So I can deal with 4 years of Jordan Poole before I can even begin to trade him, or I can deal with 2 years of Chris Paul. 2 versus 4. You have your best player is older. Draymond's getting older. Your team needs to move in a different direction. You were between a rock and a hard place. I think you did what is the fastest solution to get the bad juju cleared up.
Yeah, I do. I agree. You had to get. You basically had to choose between Draymond and Jordan Poole. Hindsight,
and look, Jordan Poole stinks. Like he went to Washington it was awful. I mean, he got benched by the Wizards.
Yeah, it was bad.
Let me go. I'll take Chris Paul. They tried their best. I'll take this hit this year, and then I'll get my $40-50 million back and respend that money. I don't want to be tied to Jordan Poole, who is an asset that looks to be getting worse. Somehow, you got punched in the face and traded, and things got worse for you.
Yeah. So that happened in the Bay, across the country. If y'all didn't hear the collective scream from New York that came out when the Knicks traded for Michael Bridges, then it was the only thing that happened that came out of New York that was louder is when they re-signed OG Anunoby. So the New York Knicks traded for Mikal Bridges, who asked to be traded to the Knicks, and the Nets obliged, and the Knicks gave up, I think, 6 assets total for that trade. And then they also re-signed OG Anunoby. And I don't believe in doing stuff illegally, but if y'all don't pay Jalen Brunson up under the table when he retire, he should never have to buy anything in New York again, because the only reason all of this could happen is because he signed for $24 million a year instead of the max contract that he could have signed for. So now he has his Villanova. He got his Villanova teammates back. Dante, Mikal, Jalen, Josh Hart, all there under contract now for the foreseeable future. Not to mention, Julius Randle comes back. You lost Hartenstein. We'll get to that. But you also bring back OG Anunoby. And whether you like Mitchell Robinson or not, when healthy, he is a hell of a rebounder. And he's a guy that's not going to need shots. All he's going to do is block shots, get rebounds, and hustle. So the Knicks, are they the second best team in the East right now?
Who do you think is the best team in the East?
Celtics. I mean, the champions. I'm assuming the Celtics are number 1 until they're dethroned.
Maxey, Embiid.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And Paul George. That ain't. I mean, and the Bucks got to figure out what they're gonna do too. I mean, the East is in flux.
Giannis got.
It also depends.
Giannis gonna have to evolve.
It depends on. I mean, You could have a team that like completely come out of there if Jimmy leaves Miami and they don't get anything or get much back. Then I don't know yet. I don't know, but they have. I would say they're probably top three. Top three.
So instead of 2, they're 3. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
up
right
there.
now
But
they're
also, I think they got a lot of money spent. I'm not sure if Mitchell and Julius make it to the crossroads. I could see you kind of punting on one of them. Mitchell Robinson.
it would have to be Julius then, because Mitchell Robinson's cheaper.
Mitchell Robinson's hurt.
So is Julius.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, and Julius probably gets you the biggest return on investment too.
Yep. Now you're a big fan of Hartenstein. He ended up leaving New York, going to Oklahoma City. 3 years, $87 million. Him and Chet. Oklahoma City now goes from already a tall, pretty good defensive team to adding Hartenstein, who gives them size. And I'm not talking about height. He gives them muscle to go against, because Daniel Gafford basically just destroyed the Timberwolves and the and OKC just by being strong. So Isaiah Hartenstein, brother Hartenstein, as I like to call him, along with adding Alex Caruso, now all of a sudden there is no weak link defensively to me on that team. Not really, because you got Dort and Caruso's coming off the bench because you still got Dort.
Yeah, this was a really big move for a few reasons. Caruso back into the 6th man of the year conversation basically immediately. Very low pressure, high reward at what he's able to do, and he's gonna play. You know, when he's out there, he's gonna be able to play aggressive as he wants to. You get to move Chet from the 5 to the 4, which I think will help him out. I think that he's
Porzingis.
Yeah, I think that when players get that opportunity to play the 5 first and then get moved to the 4, they benefit from it because you get to deal with the physicality, you get to learn the position, and then you get to be good. Like Chet was a good center last year. Mm-hmm. I think that now he knows I can be a good center, and I get to play the position I'm probably more suited for, to play the 4. So, and I have a guy in Isaiah Hartenstein who's a good rim protector, good rebounder, and he can pass the ball in the short roll if need be. And
I think it gives them the versatility. To add him gives them the versatility to be able to guard every team in the West. The teams that gave them difficulty, of course, is always going to be Minnesota because they had the Twin Towers, and then the Mavericks, who just got strong. They were always, what the old folks say, is light in the pants. They were always light in the pants because they're all 24 or younger, like all of them. Everybody on that team is like 24 or younger, I believe. That was in the starting 5, other than the person they released, old boy whose ankle blew up. He played for the Celtics, Utah, Gordon Hayward. So yeah, you now have all of these players who are a year older. They're going to get stronger, and you added some muscle to that team and put Chet at the 4. I don't know if there's a 4 in the league that can guard. I mean, Victor, whatever you want to call him. There's Victor. I don't think Porzingis could guard Chet. I don't know if there's a 4 in the league that could guard Chet one-on-one at 7'2", however tall he is.
Well, it's going to be interesting because I think that Alexander Sarr and him are going to be about the same size, about the same speed. Now, Sarr's going to, get his year too, but potentially, like, I think there's just going to be more of those. The part that OKC that everybody hasn't paid attention to yet is Nikola Topic is going to probably sit this entire season because of his ACL. If he's as good as advertised,
yeah, they are talking about him like he's better than everybody we thought was good. Yeah, Topic is.
At one point, he was a front runner to be the first pick. So you can have a backcourt of SGA and Topic. Mm-hmm. You have Jalen Williams at the 3, Chet at the 4, and Isaiah Hartenstein at the 5. That's how tall is SGA? 6'4", 6'5"?
SGA is 6'7".
I hope not. I really hope not.
6'6", 6'6.5". Yeah.
6'6". So you can have two combo guards at 6'6" in the backcourt. Jalen Williams, who's 6'8" at the 3. Chet, who's 7 foot at the 4, and Isaiah Hartenstein at 7 foot.
Chet 7'2".
Excuse me, 7'2", and Isaiah Hartenstein 7 foot at the center.
Yes. With
Told
Jalen
y'all
at
this is the new
16
NBA.
coming off the bench. Caruso at 6'7" coming off the bench. I forgot who else they got. They got like 3 more 6'9", 6 foot.
Oh, and
Isaiah
you still have a bunch
Isaiah Joe is 6'8". That's 8 players that are all 6'6" or taller.
And then you still have this. Then you're gonna still probably have a bunch of draft picks in the next draft to get in a good draft.
Cooper Flag. Go ahead and just throw that up there. They can add Cooper Flag there just to add him. Whatever. Don't matter. It fit right in the culture. Go from Maine to Oklahoma. That ain't no culture shock over there. They go from snow to dust. It's okay. He gonna be okay. Just brown snow.
But Sam Presti he had put on a masterclass right now. If Topic is good as advertised, and he has the benefit just like Chet did, I'm gonna sit here for a year. I'm gonna be able to that's the reason I don't really love when players get to sit for a year and then they get to play for Rookie of the Year. Bro, you had a year to learn the playbook. You had a year to learn the offense, the system, to be coached. When you come in on day one, it's not like somebody who's coming in on day one.
Breaking news: Mo Bamba signs with the Clippers. Just want to throw that out there.
Not bad.
Yep.
Bobo went back to the Suns too.
Yeah. Needed that. Suns needed that. I guess the second biggest signing, or the biggest signing, depending on who you are, as the.
Wait, before we do that, let's take a small 3-minute water break.
Oh yeah, we'll be right back. Get some water. We've been talking for 2 hours and 18 minutes, and we still got to talk about the ineptness of the Bulls, the 76ers, and it's still some other people that need to be signed. So, guys, we'll be right back. I'm going to play. It's 11:37, and we still going, but I'm going to play something nice and quiet, chill, if you will, and we'll be right back.
Was the hottest, a Scorpio. Who hit the gas, fuck a mileage, a Scorpio. She stalks through the night like a panther. Her vengeance don't stop, she's the worst type of cancer. If you see her run, know that when she steps out, the rapture's begun. She was born in November with a cold ass heart. She was a backseat from the start.
Told you to be my side bitch, how would that make you feel? Met a lady that's straight out of Highbridge, and she down to drill. Baby say she gon' knock off his eyelids, yeah, she down to kill. Yeah, I'm deep in that water like pirates, got a mouth full of steel.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Second part, third part, fourth part of our basketball special. Got a couple of things we're going to finish up with today. We talked about a whole lot of moves so far and the draft. Now we're going to talk about the next team. We talked about the Knicks, who probably had the biggest reaction to their trades and signings before free agency started, to their agreements. And then there was this one. Paul George,
In the wee hours of the morning.
agrees to go to Philadelphia to join Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey as the next big three in Philly. Paul George got 4 years, $212 million to go to the Sixers. Embiid and Maxey teaming up after Embiid tampered during the finals.
We call that LeBroning. This is. They said, what stops this big three? And they said head, shoulders, knees, and toes. That's the concern. If Embiid and PG are healthy, this team is scary. You can go ahead and pencil in Crazy Oubre back there somewhere.
Yep.
Yes. Now the part that I do not trust yet and think this should be reconsidered. Oh, also you can pencil Andre Drummond back there too as the backup center, which I think is an excellent spot to put him in. Not quite a starting center in the NBA, even though I think that he might be able to be for some teams, but a damn good backup center. And if Embiid misses 20 games, you could probably you okay with your rim protection and rebounding with Drummond. Now I don't know how much money they have left, but
Can't be money.
what I saw was
they signed Maxey to 5 years, 204 too.
yes. What I did see as concerning to me is they had Eric Gordon in the starting lineup.
Eric Gordon?
Yes.
I thought he signed with somebody else.
No, he signed with Philly.
No.
You gotta find something.
You got to get a 2 and a 4 that are defensively only. Spot up 3-and-D guys. You should have went and got Derrick Jones Jr. You should have went and got somebody, a wing.
No.
and a forward.
Oubre is gonna start. Oubre is gonna start.
As your what? As your 3 or your 2?
Something. The thing is, it's a matchup thing because him and Paul George are like tall and long defenders. It really just depends on. Come on, man.
You were trying. It was funny. You were trying to figure it out.
Trying to hold it in the road, but I think that I would try to go for. I mean, it'll be a tall ask, but a guy who could shoot a little bit.
Yeah, I
But
mean, you
not
need a
be
shooter. You need
super-
shooting. They need shooting.
I mean, now Embiid can shoot, PG can shoot, Max can shoot, but I would like one more. Or
For them to be successful, you need somebody that you can drive and
nah. I'm gonna tell you what I would probably do.
kick to. Go get.
I'll probably try to get a Buddy or Tyus Jones from the Wizards. Let him run the 1. Maxey at the 2.
That's a small backcourt, boy.
It is, but Tyus is such a good facilitator. It would take a lot of responsibility off Maxey of trying to get all the play initiation. And then, you got Oubre and Paul George. You can space the floor. You can play 5 out. You can really do whatever you want to with that.
That sounds good, but we just had a 45-minute discussion about how the new NBA is 6'6" and taller. So to go to a 6'1" and a point guard and a 6'3" shooting guard, that would be difficult moving forward, in my opinion. But I think that with these 3 plus Kelly Oubre, there's still other people that you could go get. I mean, they still could technically go get DeMar DeRozan and put him at the 2. if they wanted to. It's just
I don't know if they got enough money for that.
You need defense in order to make this work. In order for them to be able to get to where they want to go, aside from injuries, if even if there's no injuries, you need defense. I like Kelly Oubre. Paul George is pretty good still. He's 34 now, right? So I mean,
see, this is a team that would have benefited from AJ Griffin. He'd have been perfect.
Any shooter would have benefited. They went for Clay too. So, but this is a good signing for them. Clippers. You traded SGA, Danilo Gallinari,
who gave the Hawks a hell of a season now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. 7 first round picks. 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had to make sure I read that right. 2023, 2025, 2024. They had 6 picks plus a pick swap in 2023 for Paul George, and you got nothing done. I don't even think they made it to. They made it to the Western Conference Finals one year, right?
And the worst part about it, like the good part about this is you're almost done paying your debt. You're almost at the end. You got 2 more left. You got the 25 pick swap, and you got the 26 pick. The bad part is OKC, we just talked about. They're good at every position now. Positive applicable. Wow, that was wild.
Yeah,
but
they are. So but I mean,
you damn near single-handedly created a super team
with this one trade. And at the time, we were like, dang, him and Kawhi. But Kawhi really just couldn't stay healthy. And they messed up by not getting a true point guard. And as much hell as we give Doc Rivers said, allegedly, hey, we can give up all of this stuff except for SGA. Let's give up anybody else. He was like, I will give up anybody else except for SGA. And they was like, no, SGA. Boy.
Yeah, there were multiple people said that they should not have, like, before they did it, hey, don't do that. And they did it anyway. That was a poor decision.
Yep. Shout out to them. So that was terrible.
And you gonna mess around. What's the chances that SGA has a better career than Paul George?
High. Paul George ever been in the MVP conversation?
Maybe kind of close, but not really.
SGA,
but not like
SGA finished what?
Yeah. So the SGA for PG straight up is a loss. Everything else is just additional. That's just getting stomped out. God. And somehow people get paid.
Yep. Speaking of getting stomped out, the Bulls. Hold on, let me open up this other story too, because I want to make sure I transition from dumb to stupid.
I tried to set it up.
I did. I saw it. Yeah, I changed the list a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, I see what he was doing here." I see.
Yeah,
like, oh, okay.
I was proving a point. I put all these stupids together. And then people be trying to tell me I wouldn't have done the stuff that these people have done. They get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for these jobs. Millions.
Yeah, these dudes. So where are we gonna go? Let's go. All right, let's start here. Let me
pick your point. Just pick a random number and say, hey, which stupid do I want to talk about?
The Sixers were given the impression they had a deal to get Drummond at the trade deadline for 2 second-round picks, but the Bulls backed out. Now, Philly has signed him for nothing. That's number one. Number two, I think I'm going to go here.
So legit, that's a donation. Donations.
So, Umar.
Donations.
Docs. Yeah, you got that. Number two. The Warriors declined the Bulls' offer of Levine for trade packages around Wiggins and CP3. Why is this dumb? I think it's dumb for the Warriors, but in hindsight, it also was reported that the Bulls contacted 18 other teams for Zach LaVine, and all of them said no. Which tells me The Bulls are looking to dump contracts of Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball, and they can't. They can't get rid of Zach. What did Zach LaVine do in Chicago to make him be hated on every team? I remember Zach LaVine scored 40 points in a quarter, or 20 points in a quarter, 30 points in a quarter, or something like that.
Oh, you want to know what he did? He signed a contract where he's going to pay $43 million next year, $45 million the year after, and then there's a player option, which I assume he picks up like the pieces at $48 million.
That's why they're trying to. That's why they're trying to give them all of that. They're trying to like package picks, and
you're gonna have to. If I want to have to pay him, you might as well say $140 some odd million. Then yeah, I want some draft picks in return.
Where?
And
I think he's gonna play in Chicago. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, I think he's stuck too. I mean,
that's a good question. Who is the contract that started all of this? Because it was a lot of mediocre players or players that we thought were really that got paid. When LaVine got paid,
they showed a bunch of them. Alan Crabb got like $75 million.
Yeah, you got more than that.
Chandler Parsons got $94 million.
That whole little group. Who started that?
Yeah, I don't know, but they were giving away bad money. And I mean, like, you got to think about it. James Harden's getting paid $35 million. Zach LaVine's getting paid $43 million. James Harden's better than Zach LaVine for $8 million less.
Zach LaVine don't play no defense. And I think
they was about to trade him to the 29, excuse me. Well, yeah, he's 28. He'll be 29 next year. But you remember they were going to trade him to the Pistons, and that's when he got the surgery. So now you have him coming back from a surgery.
Oh, yeah. And that pretty much killed the trade because he was like, he didn't want to go to Detroit. But
do you blame him?
Yes. We just talked about Detroit had all them people.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think this is before they got those players, and they still had Monty, who clearly didn't want to be there. That team, when they asked to trade him, it didn't have any hope. Now Detroit has a little bit of hope, but not much, but just more. At that point, no, the Bulls kind of still looked like they were going to figure it out.
They just paid Patrick Williams $100 million, which
4 years, $90 million. I don't really hate 90? That.
I must have read it wrong. I thought it was 130. I was like, y'all crazy.
Nah, he got like $90 million. He just got, the thing with him is I don't think the shot is good enough. The scoring to me is not good enough.
Yeah, offensively he's not good, but he would be a great defensive player for Dallas.
But this is yes, and you gotta, and that's the thing. You might have bought the contract to trade later. You're not gonna be good anyway. But $15 million this year, $16 million next year, $18 million as the salary cap goes up more. Yeah, this is gonna be a guy who I'm willing to pay to be 6-man defensive stopper. You're right. I'll take that all day.
Yep,
I'll trade that.
So the Bulls are in a fire sale. The Hawks, we don't know what they're doing. Right now, there are still...
The Hawks don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. There are still players that are still available. You've got... you got DeMar DeRozan, Gordon Hayward, LeBron's going back to the Lakers, Kyle Lowry, who's still trying to play. Markelle Fultz was actually probably be a good pickup for somebody at a reasonable price.
Absolutely.
Patrick Beverly, you coach Beverly now. Buddy Hield.
He'd be a Hawk.
Buddy Hield, somebody's going to need some shooting. Tyus Jones, Nora would just start talking about him.
That's my guy.
Who should probably end up in one of these teams that have those bigger backcourts. I wouldn't be surprised. What if
LA.
I don't know the salary cap even though we talked about it. But since he's a free agent, I mean, he could. What about Boston off the bench? $5 million a year.
I mean, yeah, but Tyus in Atlanta is, I mean, not Atlanta, but in LA is kind of perfect.
He's a point guard. Him anywhere.
He's a real point guard. You take the pressure off LeBron of starting the offense. He can pick and roll you to death with him and AD. He's my sleeper of guy that I'd be like, or San Antonio. I'll take him right now.
And with Chris Paul.
I know y'all got,
and Chris Paul can teach him some more. Yeah, that I ain't gonna lie to you. And he appreciates good organizations after playing with Jordan Poole. And then of course you got Gary Trent Jr. But I believe Gary Trent Jr. signed already, didn't he? Maybe he didn't.
I'm not sure, but he's another guy in the right. Like, if he can take a pay cut, if you want to win a championship, you get to Denver.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't know if you want to take that much of a pay cut, but
I don't know where these guys end up. DeMar's going to go to the West Coast. I think he's going to go home somewhere. Gordon Hayward,
he might be going home, and not like DeMar going home to play. He might be going home to stay.
Going to yeah. LeBron's going to LA. Kyle Lowry, you're going to end up somewhere. I'm assuming you'll probably end up back in Philly, to be honest, for something cheap.
For what? It's over, bro. It's over. Nobody, like, there's nowhere for you to go. Now, that's the one. Him.
He is going to make a team very, very happy if he goes anywhere. I would love to see him with the Bucks. I would love to see him in LA. I would love to see him. What's another contender? Him off the bench in Dallas would be kind of crazy.
Can OKC pay him?
Yeah. They got like the 12th most salary cap space in the league. Everybody on the field.
I think that he would be really good there. Everybody else can kind of shoot. That's not really his responsibility, but he can still get to the bucket and do his thing. Or if you want a bigger role, I'm not against him being in Toronto.
Toronto would be good because they got it. If they don't replace Gary Trent Jr., he's a guy that can replace him, and he's a sneaky decent defender too. He's sneakily a really good defender.
And he's big enough where you can play him at the one, play quickly at the two, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. So you have that.
I like that.
There's players still available, specialists, point guards, defensive players. If you need somebody to get a bucket, kind of like your Carmelo type at the end of their career, you got DeMar
or Gordon Hayward. Hold on, Gordon Hayward. Go to the Celtics, bro. Go to the Celtics. Go back to Utah. That's where you really should take your ass back to.
Or go to Indiana.
They need shooters.
Don't matter.
That too.
So you could
but Utah, that's the last time we saw you actually be good. They need a veteran. You could just shoot the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Utah would be a good place because apparently, Lauri Markkanen his contract is up after next year, not this coming year. I think he has one more year. So they got to pay him, and they don't know if they want to pay him. And right now, there are a lot of teams showing interest in Lauri Markkanen. I think the Hawks at one point showed interest, but they wanted Jalen Johnson in return, and we were like, no, thank God. But the rumors are the Spurs and the Warriors are the teams showing the most interest for Lauri Markkanen. Which is, if he goes to the Spurs with all they got over there, boy, that would be crazy. That would be 7 feet and 6.
So the answer with this is, Danny Ainge, this is the one you got to keep. You stole an asset from somewhere else. You jugged Cleveland. And now that you got him, I think this is your centerpiece. Otherwise you're kicking the can too far down the road. Because once you get rid of Markkanen, this team is cratering.
Depending on who you get back. He is known to They called him in the comments, used car salesman Danny Ainge. You better check under the hood before you make a deal. So
I mean, you're right, but I mean, like, you would have to give me everything. Sochan, like, yeah,
I can give you picks.
I'm.
Or he could go to the Thunder.
Can't go to the Thunder. Where are you gonna play?
The 3.
When they got Jalen Williams.
The 2. Put Jalen at the 2. Dort and Caruso come off the bench. Now you got defense and offense.
Nah, because you can't. Because
you'd be too slow.
No, and
too slow at the 3.
They run out of money too, because you're gonna have to pay. You have Max Chet, right? You're already paying SGA. You're gonna have to pay Jalen Williams. You have to pay him a brick too.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
and
I just threw that out there because of the
Laura,
height. I didn't really put any thought.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So I mean,
I think the Spurs will be good if he's moved. Spurs will be scary if he moves.
So that's probably the biggest trade piece that I can see out there right now. Aside from what, again, we don't know what the Hawks are doing, y'all. We don't know. We have no.
Oh wait, I can help. I can help you with this though. Anybody the Hawks have on their team is not a bigger trade piece than Lauri Markkanen.
Well, Trey.
No,
I think Trey is.
I 100% think that the market is much larger for Lauri Markkanen than Trey.
We will see. Outside of everything we talked about, out of the free agent signing so far, who has the best signing in your opinion? Who's the winner and loser of day one of the free agents?
The loser, probably the Lakers. Have not done enough. The winner, even I do like the Max Christie pickup at $8 million a year. The winner, I think, probably the Knicks, because you were able to trade for Mikal Bridges and still sign OG Anunoby. I did not foresee that. I didn't think that there was a way that tracked. And the ability to do that and then sign him to a 5-year deal, oh man, you won in my opinion.
Losers, the Hawks.
I mean, because we haven't signed anybody at all.
I mean, we lost arguably our best player. At least the leader of the team, in my opinion. The winner, based off what I've seen here, I really like what the 76ers did by adding Oubre, Drummond, and Paul George. You've got the backup center taken care of because you can now get rebounds. You've got defense taken care of, at least at the wing, because Tobias Harris also wasn't stopping nobody either. So Paul George at least can play a little. He can stay in front of people. And then you also got Oubre at the other wing, so you could play them at the 2 and 3, along with Maxey getting downhill and Embiid. Now you still have to find a 4, but I think that they won, and of course the Knicks. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to pick 76ers over the Knicks, but I think the Knicks maintained their pieces. I think the 76ers did more to become a better team.
But the other part about this is Paul George might end up playing a little bit of forward this year. Like, I'm not against that either.
Yeah. Especially against, that's what they did using like Jason Tatum.
Yeah. I mean, perfect example, same size guy. There are not that many forwards that PG gonna have trouble with as far as like just smoking his boots. So yeah, I'll probably just play him in the 4, play Oubre at the. I'm trying to find an athletic shooter. I don't know how I make that happen, but that's what I'm probably looking for, or a point guard so that Maxey can have a little bit less pressure and probably help out on defense. Because I don't think that he's a bad defender, but if you ask him to facilitate and play defense, then that's a tall ask.
Yeah. So I mean, again, y'all, this is our NBA free agency special. I don't think we're coming back on to talk more about it unless somebody trades. There's a giant trade, then we'll do a reaction video. But This has been a hell of a start to the NBA free agency for sure. Hell of a start.
Yeah, that's the thing. We didn't plan to pod until it got crazy.
You got crazy.
If it gets crazy, yeah. I was so mad when they traded DeJounte. I kept seeing it on my phone, and every time I see it, it would piss me off. And I was out, like, hanging out with my friends, and I just didn't stare off into oblivion, like, what did my team just do? And people are like, are you okay? I'm like,
no,
I'm not.
And I'm drinking. Like, I just put my phone down. I saw it. Candace was like, what's wrong? I was like, don't even worry about it. It's okay. I ain't gonna worry about it.
But you know how like you open your phone, trade reaction, or Locked on Hawks, emergency pod. You're like, oh my God, I just have to keep watching it over and over and over.
Nah,
it was hurtful, man.
It was. But ladies and gentlemen,
I'm just disappointed, man. It's disappointment.
We've come to the end of episode 158 NBA Free Agency Special. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you could always like, follow, subscribe. Norwood, if we ain't miss anything, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna keep it simple and sweet. Thank you guys for rocking with us on this basketball.